Hey everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thursday. Um Enjoying the weather now that it's finally stopped raining. I don't know if it's raining as much for everyone on the East Coast as much as it is for everyone here in the Midwest, but we have some major flood warnings going on. Have been nonstop all day, blaring through the phone. Any weather app you have is like freaking out about flooding going on in Michigan. It's pretty crazy. But it finally stopped raining for right now. Hopefully, it will stop for a little while, anyways. Anyways, thank you for being here, Cheryl. Hope you're having a great day. And you get to be home from work now and relax. Um, but earlier, as I was going through, or earlier before I went live, um, with my daily Karen Reed trial 2, um, I would happen to be in Baker's chat. He went live going over some parts of this recent Kerry Roberts interview. And I just from the bits or clips that Baker had shown us and went over, I had quite a lot to say, and I think so did a lot of people. So I thought, without having to get my blood pressure up alone, we would watch this bullshit of an interview together and share some thoughts on it because it is crazy. Hey, Maylin, thank you for being here, my superwoman of a mod. Hey, James. So, with that being said, I have this set at 1.25 just so it doesn't take us a full hour and a half of actual watching this bullshit to get through it. But if for any reason it seems too fast, please let me know. Now, I am not monetized, obviously. I don't know anything about this channel. I have never seen anything. I've never even heard of this channel before, which is called Note My Objection. This interview already has over 6,000 views. But some of the stuff that comes out of her fucking mouth, meaning Kerry Roberts, is absolutely insane. So, here we go. And please share. This is Obach. Oh my God. Okay, as you guys know, I am not good with the TwitchBot, but I do know names from it as people go over it on other channels. I have no clue. I have never had any clue who people are, whose people's sock accounts or burner accounts. I have no idea. I know the main players' real accounts and the parody accounts and mocking accounts and antis each have like 20 accounts. I mean, how can you? I don't know how people keep them straight. 1.25 is slow to you, okay? Well, when I watch something by myself, I normally watch it at 2.0. I just keep my finger on it, and then if I need to stop because I really want to hear something, I lift my finger, so to go back to normal speed, I do it that way. But if it gets too slow, even I will even boost it up to 1.5. I guess with watching the trial, I'm always afraid I'm going to miss something, so I don't want to speed it up too much. Although with this one, who cares if you miss something, I think. Although I think every bullshit thing that comes out of her mouth needs to be called out, in my opinion. You guys haven't seen it? Okay. You can't keep the burner account straight either. I know, right? Like, I don't know how people do this. How the hell do you have so many emails to have that many burner accounts is beyond me. I can't even keep the 2 emails that I have straight. I have 20,000 emails in my main email. Like, because I don't delete them. I don't read them. Most of them are junk. Like, it's insane. But let's get started and see some of this bullshit.
Was one of the first people to see John O'Keefe on the morning that he passed away on January 29th of 2022. She joined us today to talk about the trauma that she endured as a result of losing her friend, who John O'Keefe was, what kind of person, man, father, and friend he was, as well as son. In addition to the ongoing campaign of harassment that she has been subjected to as a result of being a witness in this case. Something that's really important to me here is the protection of witnesses in the criminal justice system, and to make sure that anybody who is involved.
I have to get this separated in 2 screens because I am going to pause a lot. So hold on. Now, I do have to say, first and foremost, that this bitch, okay, Kerry Roberts, has the nerve to pretend she's a victim, complain and boo-hoo about the fact that we're being harassed, I'm being vilified in the public. I swear to fucking God. And yet she's the one that's still doing interviews a year fucking later, like this. She craves attention. She wants this fucking attention. So don't, quit being a hypocrite. Hey, nefarious. Sorry, I get really riled up at assholes. I really do. All right, here we go.
Involved in a case has the protection that they need, not only from the district attorney's office, the federal government, or whatever agency they may be involved. And I think it's a really important issue that is at the forefront of the intersection of the criminal justice system and the online world, and one that we need to prioritize. So I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. I'm grateful that she has the strength and bravery to talk about not only her loss, but what she has been through over the past couple of years, what effect it has had on her, and that we continue to have these conversations. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for being here. Yeah. All right. Kerry Roberts, welcome to Note My Objection.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you coming on here today, because I think what you have endured as part of the kind of entirety of the John O'Keefe case is something that really needs to be focused on, needs to be talked about, and I don't think enough people have. And I know that the very fact that you're going to talk about, what happened since January 29th of 2022 and after that, and the harassment you've endured and gone through, probably will bring you harassment in and of itself, for the fact that you're just talking, for both of us. So I think it's, really important that we do bring these things to light. And I appreciate, you being brave enough to put yourself out there, because I know it's not easy in the online world. We're living it.
It's not easy in the online world. I don't see a lot of it because I just can't.
And so do you, I think that's an interesting, so for people who don't know who you are have been involved with the.
I have a feeling this is going to take me hours to get through, seriously. But tell me if I'm wrong, that she mentally can't take the online bullshit. I seriously suspect that she is one of many accounts that people don't know who are behind it, making fucking comments and looking at all the shit online. Seriously. I do not believe that for one fucking second.
Karen Reed case in the death of John O'Keefe. And can you just give us a little bit of how you knew John, what your relationship was like, and then we can get into how you were sort of brought into this case in the first place?
I went to high school with John. So when we moved to Canton, and his sister was diagnosed I think just we moved in January. I think she was diagnosed in May or June with a brain tumor. And she ended up passing away in November of that year. 2 months later, her husband passed away from a heart attack. So John now moved into our neighborhood. So when he first moved in, I said, I'll do all the mother things that you need, like if I'm going to BJ's, like a food, whatever. My husband will give you a social life, because he was moving from Dorchester. He was a bachelor. He was working nights for Boston police and wasn't married, didn't, have a girlfriend. So that's what we did. And then it turned into the John and Kurt show, Kurt being my husband, where I would have all 4 kids in the afternoons while they're down the street, at the hillside. Yeah. And so finally I was like, listen, no. And so Mrs. O'Keefe would always be around. Mr. O'Keefe was always around. So it was sort of all hands on deck. There was a bunch of other mothers that Kaylee's friends' mothers, one being Jen McCabe, and then all of Patrick, his nephew, those mothers. So we all jumped in and helped and did carpooling and whatnot. So John and I became very close. He was the emergency contact at my kid's school, or, for anything. And I was on for the kids as well, for his kids. So we're very close. I mean,
Okay,
he had
Jane.
keys to the house. He would just show up at the house and be like, I just grabbed something out of the back and I let the dog out. I'm like, okay, thanks. We were just very close. We were neighbors. We grew up together. I think in a world where he was kind of tossed into this like new single mom mode, he was like, I don't know. I've got all these people trying to help me.
I am going to say Maylin, because Maylin says she is weak-minded. I do believe she can't handle the online stuff. Now, if she didn't do these interviews, Maylin, I would probably agree with you. But the more, and now she just does these interviews that she knows is going to grab attention, more attention from people who are ridiculing her than who support her. She knows this. To me, this is 100% attention-seeking behavior, no matter what the attention is. She don't care if it's negative or positive. This is someone who craves the attention. Is Jen McCabe doing these interviews? No. Is anyone else doing these interviews? No. Just her. So that's why everything I say, just as a warning, my opinion only. If you disagree, totally fine. I have no problem. This is what I feel or see or see, whatever. But I just don't think knowing in advance what is going to come from doing something like this. I think that, and Maylin, I do think, going back to when I started really learning all the players and at post trial 2, only knowing what I knew, not having seen trial 1, only just starting to dig in and hearing the narrative that that Kerry Roberts was manipulated by Jen McCabe. The more she does shit like this, I start to wonder. Sarah, what's up, sweetie? Long time no see. I'm so glad you're in Michigan. I swear, as soon as you get some free time, let me know. You can come hang out at my apartment. Oh, we got the potty pads coming down. Maylin, did you stock the chat fridge? Come on now. We've been slacking on the potty pads and the chat fridge lately. We got to get back into it. Oops, Sarah brought snacks. Sweet. Well, here we go. Get those snacks and popcorn ready. The shit's going to get deep. So you may need your, what are those called? Those knee size boots, whatever. You're going to need those too.
Don't know them. So we sort of leaned more on me because I was familiar.
Right. And I think it's, something that's not really spoken enough about is what a sacrifice that really was. That, you think he's a young, wasn't police officer in Dorchester, good looking guy, like making good money. I mean, really at the sort of time of your life where, the sky is the limit, that he took on, changed his
Two
job
and a
within
6-year-old.
Boston Police Department and took on 2 little kids, I think is a testament to who
Yep.
he was as a person, and that many people in the community, including
Sarah,
you.
this interview was just posted this morning. I don't know when the interview actually took place, but this YouTuber / whoever is, she posted it this morning. Hey, Charlie Rachel, stopping in for a quick second to say hi. So hi, hope you're doing good. Cheryl's back. She's doing dishes. Well, thankfully the dishes are done. I hate doing dishes. I say that every time someone says they're doing dishes in my chat. It's like, I'd rather do laundry. Hey, Yummy, how are you? Hippie chick. Hey, guys. Thanks, guys, for being here. Deep is the only way to go. Bad Desert. Ooh-wee. It's Thursday night, and we're getting petty, okay? I couldn't help myself. Nope, my objection. Sound familiar? Does anyone know or can or cannot confirm that this is Obak, as that was possibly stated? I don't know much about the players on the Twit Twat. You guys know this. But, oh boy. Charles, don't leave us. Hippie chick says, oh, Bad Desert's here. I can time him out. Yeah, Malin says, I think this is Obak. I don't know anything about the players. I don't know how people have so many burners and sock accounts, how they can keep up with one, let alone 10 or 20. Did Doc show us her videos on TikTok or some kind of shorts? Wait, what? Did Doc show us her videos on TikTok or some kind of shorts? I have no idea. Sorry. Zach. Sorry. I just revealed that you're here, Zach. Hey, Side Eyes, Jess. No, that's not her. Okay, Hippie Chick, thank you. So this is not Obak, okay. It's not her. She's an attorney in Massachusetts that has a TikTok. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay. So she apparently has a YouTube as well. It's called Note That Objection or whatever. And from what the little I've seen of this interview, it's pretty insane, the shit that comes out of her mouth. So I had a lot to say, even about the few clips I saw watching Baker this morning, and I thought, I gotta see what other shit she has to say. I really do. Oh, Shirley Rachel says, hi, I don't know if I got filtered, but this is the TikTok lawyer that said F around and find out. Oh my God. Okay. Now it's coming together. All right. I'm getting it. She obviously is convinced. Yeah. Karen Reed is guilty. Hey, Angie, how are you? Another moron. Yeah. These Twitter lawyers, TikTok lawyers, fake lawyers, but if she is a lawyer, it is I want to say a little different, maybe, but seriously, the people online who pretend they know it all and defy common sense, the fact that John was not hit by a fucking car. Ugh. Oh, Charlie Rachel says, used to be an addict. Her dad is a credible attorney. She got clean and somehow passed the bar. Wow. Okay, Zach. Oh, you're camping? That sounds like fun. He did. Okay, he did show. Okay, gotcha. I haven't seen him, so I must have missed it. The doc is Dr. Turtle Boy, silly. I'm assuming that's who Sarah's talking about. But I must have missed that one. Hi, Forever Jaded. Ah, Yummy was camping last week. Yeah, see Aiden, the doctor. Dr. Turtle Boy. Yeah, Angie says Kerry is the only McAlbert not being sued or suing someone. Yeah, I know that's another one. That's after I already planned on doing this is when I found out about the new lawsuit against Aiden and Karen. Jeez, oh pizza just never ends for him. I feel so bad. He finally gets through one hearing and then gets this shit. Hey, Darth Vader. I hope you have a great night too, sweetie. She's like, oh, Dr. Doodleboy's Aiden. Yeah. Yeah. But if you missed, my overall opinion of Kerry Roberts is she is an attention seeker. I know when I started learning about all the characters in this, people had said a lot of things about Jen McCabe being able to manipulate Kerry Roberts, and then somehow that means, and I think Maylin pointed out, she seems weak-minded. Now, she just made a comment. Kerry Roberts literally just made a comment that she avoids online stuff because she can't handle it mentally. Now, my opinion, it's only my opinion, but she's the only one that does these interviews. She knows she's going to get more hate than love from these interviews, that she is a huge attention seeker, no matter if it's good or bad, and that she thrives off this shit. I truly believe she's got burners and accounts that no one knows are her, so she can monitor and say shit all over the social media. Just my opinion. Oh no. Zach locked you in a week ago. Uh-oh. Yeah, yeah. Malin says, I think Kerry is a good puppet. Yeah, someone already confirmed this is not Obak, but it says, Angie says, but I know that Aiden has shown her videos from TikTok before. So I don't do TikTok. So I know nothing about people on TikTok. But I will have to go back and check out Aiden's videos of her. Sandra Bullock, that's all you have to say. We call it Sandra Buttock now. Someone made that pun in Baker's chat this morning. It was funny. So she can be played by Sandra Buttock. Buttock. All right, here we go.
He was able to really lean on and kind of create this new sort of maybe it's not, you're not blood related, but I think that happens a lot of times when there's tragedy or you need help, that there are some people who step up, and it seems like that was really the kind of relationship that you guys had.
There was a lot of us. It wasn't just me, but there was a lot of us. But he did a great job. I mean, you have kids, so when kids get ear infections and they don't finish their antibiotics, you're supposed to finish the antibiotics, but you always save a little.
Yes,
and then the next ear infection, you're like, I got amoxicillin.
That's right.
So this happened. He called one day and he said,
wait,
I'm gonna, can you pick up whatever it was?
Did she just say that? Okay. Let me just say right now, when your doctor tells you to finish your antibiotics, that isn't for the fun of it. You should finish all of your antibiotics. And I'm not going to go into the reasons why, because I work in the medical field, but I'm not a doctor. I am going to say, go look it up. See why you're supposed to finish the entire thing of antibiotics. And why you shouldn't just take antibiotics the next time before a doctor tells you to. Because you should not you don't want, oh my God, seriously, I can't believe she just said this. And I can't believe I'm saying this. But do you understand? People, go look up why we have MRSA, why we have resistant strains of everything now. It's because people overuse antibiotics. I'm going to leave it at that.
Someone had an ear infection. I said, oh, I have amoxicillin. He's like, no, I have to go to the doctor for that. And I said, no, just take some of mine. He's like, I have to, no.
Oh my God, I can't believe she just said that.
Probably like 2 months, there was a grand text going out like, does anybody have any leftover amoxicillin? I'm like, oh, he's catching on.
Now he knows.
He's catching on.
Yeah.
He did good. And those kids, they had the best of everything. Every Easter, he had them dressed up. He took them to all the Easter things, all the Christmas by himself. Mrs. O'Keefe would come too, but he had them ready on like opening day. They were dressed up. They were posted pictures, like just like anyone would, like first day of school, opening day. Like he did all the things. He did it all.
Which is pretty, I think, amazing because, we sort of naturally think that moms take on more of that role. So for a young man really to take on that role and to do it well, I think is something really special. And I something that I imagine in multiple facets is really missed on a, daily basis with Kaylee and Patrick as mom and everybody around them.
Yummy.
And so when at some point after John moved to Canton,
there is a reason why the label, when you get antibiotics, there's a reason why there's stickers on it that says, please finish entire whatever, script, bottle, whatever it says. So.
And so everybody was sort of getting in the groove.
This is how
he began dating Karen Reed.
He began dating Karen during COVID. So you were not allowed to go out during COVID. So we didn't really see each other much. There was no carpooling and whatnot. And he had moved to the other side of town.
Yep.
So the house that Kristen and Steve lived in, they both passed in. John sort of said, let's get a house for the three of us and we'll put in the kids' names and my name. And, that's what, so they moved to the other side of town, but Patrick still stayed at the elementary school with my son. So on Wednesdays, I would take Patrick home with me. This is when the kids went back to school.
Yep.
He started dating her during COVID. And I remember one time he said, well, Karen and I are going to stop by. And I was like, Karen, who? Yeah. He's like, Karen. He must have been with her and forgot. He didn't tell me.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, who is he going to bring home from high school that like, please God, I don't even know.
You're afraid
what
of
is
like a reunion that you
Not
don't
that there were any Karens from high school I didn't like, but I seriously was like, he thinks I know who he's talking about and I don't. And so he did bring her over that night. And ironically, Mike and Trish Lank were over that night. Jillian Daniels was over that night. Jill Thomas, like all of my friends, all the people. Mike and Trish Lank had just come over because they were dropping Skylar off, but they were hanging on the back deck for a little bit. So in turn, we all sort of met her at the same time.
And what did everybody think of her at the time?
I liked her. I thought she was great. I was like, okay, but John dated and then they would go away. So you never really wanted to get close to any of them because then they break up and you're like, I don't want to be friends with this one. And then,
she just look at, I swear to God, every time I pause, she has her eyes closed. She just called John a player. This is how she's talking about her dear friend. She just says, well, he dated so many. We never wanted to get close. Oh, it's sped up to 1.25. So not a lot, but we can play it at normal speed for a little bit just so you can get a grasp of how she's really talking.
So I liked her. I thought she was great. I thought she was nice. She liked to have a good time. I didn't hang out with them outside of like the baseball field much, but her and I would do like, I'm going to drop the kids off to go shoot some balls up at the golf course. Okay, I'll pick them up and take them to get something to do. Her and I coordinated a lot, like you would with any other, mother or father with kids.
Right. And at that point she was living with John. So she was helping out.
She never lived with John. No, she stayed there a couple nights a week, but she had her own house in Mansfield that she would stay at. So she didn't actually.
Was there pretty regularly? Like
she was there regularly. Yeah. But there were nights where she stayed in Mansfield. She worked She worked at Fidelity, and then I think she did. She worked at Bentley too, but I
Right.
don't know if Bentley was at night or something,
Mhm.
and maybe those are the nights she worked at home.
Mm.
I don't really know the schedule, but I knew her well enough. I would see her driving around with Kaylee at Wegmans, in the university parking lot, and would
Yeah.
wave,
She does
but
talk
she and
fast
I never
people,
went out to eat
especially at
or
times.
became like friends, but we were friendly.
So speeding up a little bit to the night of January 29th of 2022, which we all know at this time is that that's the night that
The
John,
28th.
the 28th into the 29th,
Yeah.
correct. 28th, when John was killed. And why do you got a call from Karen Reed that morning?
That morning.
Why do you think she called you?
I don't think she had many people's phone numbers.
Mm.
She had my number and she had Katie Camerano's number because Katie's son and Patrick, with all the boy things, from baseball and whatever. I think that's why she had Katie's number. Katie's daughter's also friends with Kaylee, John's niece.
She literally just talks about how John and her are great friends, and Karen and her deal with the kids together. And she wonders why Karen called her. Maybe because she thought, Kerry would care that John was missing as much as she did. Just a thought.
So at some point, there probably was an exchange of like, take my number, I'll pick them up, that kind of thing. But I don't think she had a lot of people's numbers. And I don't know why she called me, but my guess is because she had my number.
And when she called that morning, and what do you remember her saying to you?
I don't remember the order, but it was the first phone call was either Kerry, John's dead, or John's dead, Kerry. I know those were the words in the first phone call, and then she hung up. I don't remember the order. It's been 4 years, and I can't tell you how many freaking times I've had to testify
and
to.
I will tell you that it's something that, as an attorney, right? People think that everything that you recite or your memory has to be exact, right? And that's not how memory works. We know that that's not what the science says about how our brains. But she called you for help because she couldn't find John,
right?
And how were you surprised? What were you feeling when you got that call at 5 o'clock in the morning?
I wasn't concerned, really. I mean, I was like, I don't know where the hell he is. He could be passed out somewhere. Like it wasn't great concern because it was 5 a.m. and I was just woken up, and my husband was like, "You're not going anywhere." I said, "I don't know, something's going on." He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know if this is before or after she asked if she could come to my house. It must have been, I don't know when I started getting dressed, because I did get another phone call from her, and she said she was driving around. She didn't remember anything from the night before. They drank so much. She doesn't remember anything. And I said, well, where are you now? And she said, I'm just driving. I said, well, where's Kaylee? Because Patrick had slept out. She said, I looked at Kaylee's phone to see if he called. He'd never leave her home by herself without calling. And he didn't call. And I was like, okay, well, where is she now? And she was like, at the house. I'm like, you can't just leave her there. So I said,
oh, yeah.
She said, if I come to your house, can you drive my car? And I was like, yes, come to my house. Because at this point, I'm like, is she still drunk from last night? Like, I have no idea what is going on. Come to my house. And so I went outside and I thought to myself, I'm not driving her car in the snow. I don't know how her car drives. I'll just get my car ready. We'll just leave her car here. So I'm in my car. She's not here. She's not here. So I start calling the police. Did they find anybody? The 2 local hospitals. Did anybody get taken in? Because at one point in one of the phone calls, the second phone call, she said, I think he got hit by a plow. And I was like, what? Oh, okay. So now I'm like,
which is a strange, I mean, just, I think objectively it's probably a strange
had
thing
I checked back, like sat back, or, you know what I mean? Now I think of it like,
right. But you don't in the moment.
No.
You're just like, what's going on?
I was like, I wasn't out with him. I don't know. Right. My husband was out with him, but my husband came home early because it was starting to snow.
And that's the night before. So there was a number of people who were at CF McCarthy's and then Waterfall, and your Kurt was there earlier with John, but then left.
Yeah.
And you were never out at all.
No, so, I was out, but not with them. I was bowling in Brockton for my friend's daughter's birthday.
Fun things as a mom on a Friday night.
We were bowling.
And so after really the point of why I think it's important that we talk about that, number one, you didn't have any involvement in, you weren't hanging out with all the people the night before on the January 28th. You weren't with Karen, you weren't with John, you weren't with McCabe's, the Alberts, you didn't have anything to do with it.
I didn't know them.
Your sort of involvement in this case, the criminal case, is because Karen Reed called you.
Yep.
And, I know that there's obviously a lot of ongoing litigation. So we don't have to get into all the substance of what happened that morning because, everybody be picking apart one way or the other. And I don't want to.
Because they were all there as well.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah. But how do you feel about the fact that the person.
Kerry Roberts isn't involved in any of the litigation. So why is she avoiding it? Just wondering. Sarah says, well, she's doing a better job than the foreskins. Yeah. Oh, just wait till the other shit you hear come out of this Kerry Roberts. Ugh.
Person that called you for help and you responded, you went out and helped her, has it seems at least participated or adopted this kind of treatment of witnesses. She hasn't spoken out against it. It seems based on some of the text messages that are alleged to be from her. We saw in Aiden Carney, who's better known as Turtle Boy, his phone extraction has been leaked on the internet. Obviously, there's no way for me to authenticate that individually, but there's been no dispute as to its validity either from Carney or Karen Reed.
Right.
And in one of them, Karen Reed, I think the quote is,
Yummy says, Miss Scarlet, because of what went on inside the house was different to what went on outside the house, I think you meant. But yes, exactly. But that's what I'm saying is that this chick's like, well, there's a lot of litigation, so I'm basically gonna be careful of what we talk about or what I ask you. But Kerry Roberts isn't involved. So why would she be worried about what she asks Kerry Roberts? Do you get what I'm saying?
to Turtle Boy is Kerry Roberts is a fucking cunt, always has been. And I wonder how that makes.
If I was, then why did you call me?
Well, that's
if I'm this horrible person, call someone else.
Right.
Call one of your own friends.
Right.
Why are you calling me?
Because she didn't know you were that horrible a person until after the fact, until you called her a crazy person when she finds her significant other almost dead or dead in the snow that morning. You told her to shut the fuck up. How would you feel, Kerry Roberts, if you found your husband like that and someone told you to shut the fuck up?
I mean, that doesn't, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. This is the girl who would be like, oh my God, like your teeth are so white. Like, what do you use? And I'm like, I'll grab it for you. It's at, Ulta, I'll drop it off. Like, that was the kind of exchange we would have. Or like, we went to baseball tournaments. I would always sit with her, and I've never done anything or had any bad blood with her ever.
No issues at all.
For her to say that about me.
And then this goes back to the same question when a minute ago, when she's asked, why did she call you? You wonder why she called you. You literally just said, you guys had a good relationship. You supposedly cared about John. That's why she called you. Why did she call you a cunt? Oh, that's right. Because you treated her like absolute shit.
It's like, wait, whoa.
Well, and I think it seems probably objectively obvious that, the fact that she called you, you would think if she did have a problem with you and you weren't going to be a helpful person, she would try to find somebody else to call instead of you. But she called you that morning. And so at some point during this case, because you obviously become a witness based on the fact that Karen calls you that morning, and then you all find John together, which makes you, one of the, I think arguably most important witnesses, because you don't have anything to do with anything, right? So you have an observation that's different than other witnesses. Can you tell me, at what point for you did it go from just being sort of a regular witness in a criminal case to, was this sort of like an aha moment that you saw things starting to shift in how you were viewed or how you were being treated?
It wasn't for like a year later. I think Turtle Boy came out with his first article or blog or whatever it was. And shortly thereafter, within a couple of weeks, the FBI was at my door. And here I am for 2 hours telling them the whole story and crying and saying, thank God you're here and you're going to clear this up about what this person is saying about all of these people. Like, this is insane. Like, they're trying to say that a 17-year-old was responsible. Like, you have to clear this up. And they were like, well, we don't really know who the target is. I'm like, okay, that seems weird to me. They gave me a paper to go to court. And then they never called. They called and said, we're not going to need you. We'll give you a date at a later time. And that's been.
So you were originally subpoenaed into the federal grand jury, but then they never had you actually testify.
No.
Which is interesting.
Which is interesting since I was there.
Right. And like I said, I think, when you testified in the first trial, I mean, your testimony to me was probably the most closest to what the most accurate reflection of that morning was, because, everybody has sort of different perspectives. Obviously, Jen McCabe was there, but she was out the night before, she was drinking, there's certain factors that come into how we look at different witnesses and what their, as attorneys, and what their testimony is going to be. And it was very telling to me that when you testified the first time that there was no cross-examination of you, right?
Oh, I was getting ready.
Yeah.
And they said to me beforehand, Lally came over to me and goes, they're giving you little. And I was like, what? Are you serious? I'm like, oh, okay, this will be interesting. Because she doesn't have as big of a personality as the other two.
No.
And I was like, I don't even know what to make it. Little, really? And they were like, yep. And then when we got there, I was like, okay, let's go. And she was like, no further questions. I'm like,
she didn't ask any questions at all,
nothing.
Right?
Which was fine by me.
Yes.
Fine by me. Get me off this thing. I don't want to be in this anymore. I want to get off the ride. So as I'm leaving, I think Laura Sullivan was in after me. And when you go to court.
What did she just say? This is what I'm talking about. This is the same shit that I said earlier today, watching Yuri Buchanan, a.k.a. Bukaki, on the stand with that smug-ass smirk he had on his face the whole time. Listen to what she just said.
I want to get off the ride. So as I'm leaving.
I want to get off the ride. This is not a fucking joke. We are talking about a deceased human being. A cop, a father, a brother, a son, a boyfriend. And these people act like this is a fucking joke. I want to get off the ride, she says. This is just disgusting. Hey, KDD. Yeah, she did admit she lied.
I think Laura Sullivan was in after me. And when you go to court, when it's your turn to go on next, you're on deck, but you're right outside the courtroom. Right. So I come walking out and they had just flew Laura up the stairs and it just happened so fast. Laura was like, wait, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. Good luck. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Because first of all, we've never done this, right? Second of all, it's on TV. Third of all, there's like all these people that it's just, they're outside. I don't ever want to do this again. I don't wish this on anybody.
Well, and I think, so by the time you were testifying in the first trial, all of the sort of the public reaction to it was well underway, right? And that it had sort of started to gain more traction as it went along. So by the time the case actually got to trial, I mean, all eyes were on this. Everybody was watching it, right?
The second one, I think so more, but the first one, yeah.
And did you feel going into testifying in the first trial, was it anxiety? Was it, what were you feeling?
I don't even know. I think I was just like, make sure that you don't swear. Make sure that you,
hard for some of us.
Remember, say what you remember. And, so it was nerve wracking. The cameras there. I mean, all of that was awful. It was Awful.
And I think it's important too, because it's really difficult, especially when you're not in the criminal, if you're not in the legal system, if you're not in the criminal justice system, it's very scary to testify anyway. It's scary to testify when nobody's watching, right? Because it's, you know, it's very serious. It's formal. You know that someone's, you know, potentially going to come at you, and, you know, their job as an attorney when you cross-examine a witness is basically to try to destroy your credibility. Right. And that's why I thought it was so telling that there was no questions asked of you, because number one, I think you came off very credibly, and you had sort of an independent perspective outside of what necessarily the Commonwealth's case was and what the defense theory was. And I thought it was smart of the defense not to ask you any questions. But I think it's also sort of goes back to, you know, the fact that you weren't called to testify in front of the federal grand jury when, you know, I think looking at it from the outside in, you probably would have some of the most helpful testimony to kind of shape what actually was happening that morning. And so when we talk about, you know, something that I think is really has sort of taken over society, not just in true crime cases and court cases, but I mean, it's across the sort of political spectrum, the world we live in today, is this, this sort of dehumanizing of people. And what, for me, I have seen it mostly in the Karen Reed case, but to be frank, in a lot of other cases too, I think it's sort of you know, it's started to evolve, and this is becoming more common. We're seeing it more and more, which is why I think it's important that we talk about this, that you, as somebody who you didn't ask to be involved, right? You weren't present there, you know, on your own volition, and you have been subjected to
No, you're okay, Katie, because I didn't know her either. So this is a chick, oh, Joy, I'm about to answer that because Katie asked too. She said, who is this lady she's interviewing with? Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I never know who anyone is. I really need to stop annoying chat with us. You're not annoying, because I don't know who these people are either. Okay. You know, I don't use the twat. I am not on TikTok. So apparently she is a Massachusetts lawyer that has a TikTok. Apparently makes tons of TikToks. She now has a YouTube channel that is called Note My Objection. Someone did say that she has a pretty prominent or well-respected father who is an attorney, a credible attorney. But she has a pretty sordid past and somehow passed the bar. So that's all I know. That's what was reported to me. Before seeing this, I knew nothing of her. Nothing. I still don't know anything of her. So all I can say is that this insanity, this shit that is spewing out of Kerry Roberts' mouth is absolutely disgusting. You are welcome. Katie D. Hey, Joy, while I have this paused, just out of curiosity, were you able to share my link? I hate to ask, but I don't know how to go about getting it out there, because like I just said, I am not in social media much. I don't have a big social circle, and I'm trying to figure out ways to get it around. So if you can share it or ask justice served or have any ideas, please let me know. And I guess I can get my grift on for anyone who would like to support the channel. I have a PayPal QR code and link in the ticker on your screen. A Buy Me a Coffee link is also in the ticker. All my links are in the description of the video, as well as my bio for my page. And I truly appreciate any help right now. With that being said, I am going to get back into this because I have a lot to say.
I would say pretty extreme levels of harassment, hate, not only from the online world, but also in the real world.
Yep.
And can you talk to me about, when did you first realize that you were going to be maybe a target of some of the attacks that were coming, probably first online, I would say?
I think when I first, well, every day that a blog would come out, we never knew who he was going to write about next. And I don't have any skeletons, but I was like, what? I don't have any idea. Like, what you're
What are
going
they
to
going to
get.
say?
So, you've got this
He doesn't
huge
have
family,
any
the Alberts and the
kids.
McCabe's, and there's tons of people in there that some of them, they all grew up in Canton, like grudges from high school and whatnot and that kind of stuff. But I'm like the outsider.
Right.
I knew of Matt McCabe. I met Jen once, and I knew Chris owned the pizza shop because I was friends with his sister-in-law, Jillian. That was the extent of it. I didn't know Jen had sisters. I didn't know she grew up in Canton. I knew nothing. I didn't know there was 700 Alberts. I didn't know anything. My daughter is friends with Kevin Albert's daughter. So I knew her.
Sure.
And I actually, at the time, I don't even know if they were
Joy, that's
that close.
okay.
They were in the same friend group, but I still didn't know how many siblings Kevin Albert had.
Sure. Well, especially if you don't grow up in a town. I mean, it's different. It's like, you don't know this town.
I have to say, Joy, I totally forgot you did say your social media is private. So I apologize. And that's right. You have that horrific troll. I'm so sorry, sweetie. But yes, I thank you. You guys just being here, truly, I truly, I love having you guys here and getting to share my opinions as well as discuss some of this stuff with you guys and get some, feelings off my chest. So.
The people in it
and our kids are not the same age, other than like none of Jen's kids are my kids' age. They're all a little bit older. My daughter's a freshman. My son's a freshman. My daughter's a sophomore. Hers are junior, senior, and up. So they've never gone to birthday parties together or that kind of thing.
Right.
And the same with all the other ones. Like Chris and Julie's, their kids are all older. I think Dylan's a senior now, or he's going to graduate. My kids would never cross paths with them. So they say that the Alberts run Canton, but I didn't even really know who they were. And I've been in Canton
around it that much, but I didn't even know their names.
I'm like, I've been there 12 years now, and I'm like, all I knew was you own a pizza shop. I mean, I don't know if that makes you run the town. But
so before this case, you didn't socialize with these people. You were in different friend groups. You had, it's just like two people. Basically, the only connection was that Jillian. You had, a couple of mutual friends, and you live in the same town.
Yep.
But since then, obviously, you've become, friendly because of this case.
Yes. Which is another thing. If they had something to hide for this long, don't you think they'd be like, get her out of this group?
Yeah.
Like, what if we say something for get her out? It's just lunacy. But back to your question. So when we first realized it,
no,
Patrick and Ryan have played baseball together since they were in T-ball, and the pictures are hysterical. But we do the pictures through the years. And so this particular time we were down the baseball field, they both got handed their jerseys. One of them was from D&E Pizza, and the other one was Waterfall, ironically, whatever. That's who sponsors them every year. There's only like 5 teams. And then Michael Camerano was another one who got a number 10, but he happened to not be there that day. So I took a picture of the two of them, and I was like, oh, twinning, because they got the same number. They're playing against each other in town.
Yeah.
And so somebody then, my friend Jen called me, and she said, I was picking my son up from school, and she said, I'm so sorry. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, he did a blog about you. And I said, for what? And she said, the picture you put on of Patrick and Ryan wearing D&E and Waterfall shirts. And I was like,
did he put the pictures up for the kids?
Mm-hmm. And then people asked him to take it down. I think he blurred their face out after, but yeah, he put them up. Now we have found out it was at Karen's direction because she pointed out which was which.
Right. And the one it was like she's wearing her uncle's murderers. Yeah.
And so here's another funny thing about that. There was sort of talk of, should Patrick wear a D&E shirt just because of everything going on in town? And another parent said, you know what, I can have shirts made with my business on it. And Peg said, you can make as many shirts as you want. He is wearing the D&E shirt. I mean, Patrick was in D&E every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
The shirt's not hanging in D&E right now.
You know what? And I think good for Peg in that way. I mean, listen, she's an old school Dorchester girl.
You're not getting her to change her mind.
No. And I think that's true, is that what happens a lot now is that people are afraid of it getting worse. And so they back down, they kind of capitulate to it is a way of intimidating people into silence, into changing their behavior, into isolating, that kind of thing. So I think but it is so difficult to stand up to that, particularly when you have, the whole online world sort of turning against you. But, so that was really the first instance of
that's when I was
coming
like,
at you.
They're coming at me now. I was the puzzle piece that didn't fit their crazy conspiracy.
Right.
And so I don't know what they thought they were going to look,
but
I'm a witness. I can't tell them I won't take the stand.
Right.
I'll be in contempt.
She just said I was the puzzle piece that didn't fit their crazy conspiracy. You weren't brought into what happened. We know that you weren't there. But the fact that you took Jen McCabe's side that morning, told Karen to shut the fuck up, This could have went completely different for Kerry Roberts. We all know this. Yummy says, damn straight Karen was fighting for her life. How Karen Reed went through so much fucking trauma. I have said this many times as I go through these trials, that I don't know how she kept her composure as much as she did. People wanted to mock Karen Reed for the faces that she did make in court. And yet, I can tell you there is no fucking way, if that was me, had I been able to be as composed as she was. The few times that she broke, the straight face and made a face, whether it was rolling her eyes or just disgust, was completely warranted. And the fact that she did it so little should be commended, considering the trauma and bullshit she had to suffer for years. Hi, 420. Thanks for coming. Joy says, I find it funny that the only person screaming at the top of her lungs and attempting to CPR was Karen. Yet Jen was saying there is a dead guy in the yard. How did she know he was dead? I went over this at length when I went over the 911 call. Yeah. How did she know? She didn't even go near him. And she admits that she didn't even supposedly know it was John until Kerry wiped snow off of his face. So in a matter of seconds, she knew he was dead. How? Katie D says, I'm sitting here just rolling my eyes because she doesn't even deserve more of my energy than that. Yeah. I don't go off a lot. As you know, that you guys that watch me with the trial a day, during the day, I say things when I really have something to say. A lot of it I do keep in so that I don't interrupt the trial, because it would have taken us forever to get through if I stopped every time I had something to say. But this right here, she is full of attention-seeking behavior. She wants the attention. She wouldn't still be doing these kind of interviews if she didn't. And then wants to whine and moan and bitch that the attention she's getting is negative. Boo fucking who. Yummy says, I would have had to worn a full-faced burger for nobody to see what I was thinking on my face. Yeah. I'm the same way. I wouldn't have been able to hold. No way. My eyes probably would have got stuck in the back of my head after dealing with that kind of shit. Hi, Garrett. Garrett says, Kerry should realize she contaminated the so-called crime scene. Yummy says, I would have had to have worn a four-faced helmet for nobody to see what I'm thinking on my face. Yeah. Joy says, exactly. Did not know it was John, but wasn't the reason they went there was because Karen Reed was trying to find John. Exactly. And the fact that I can't get over the fucking bullshit of them being on the stand talking about Karen Reed freaking out as if this is a bad thing. That was one of the very first things that tipped me off. Like, this is normal behavior for someone who is truly worried. Why aren't they worried? I thought this was their good friend, someone they loved. Right? But no, they tell her to shut the fuck up and just literally make fun of her and condemn her, trying to make her look crazy. And Kerry lied so bad on the stand. What about Kerry is telling them everything? Yep. Yeah. Again, they loved him, but did not attend the funeral. Yep.
I go to jail. Like,
Right.
I don't have a choice.
Right.
It's not like they're going to say, like, well, would you rather not testify? You don't have a choice.
Well, I think that's too. It's something that's really important to note is that all of you are under government subpoena. So like anybody in any criminal case, right? Whether it's you're subpoenaed for a grand jury, for a hearing, for a trial, that's a subpoena that's legally enforceable. And then if you don't,
It's
you
not
know,
an
if you don't appear, a
invitation.
warrant will issue for your arrest, right? And so, number one, you don't have the option of, whether you want to participate or not.
No.
You're going to be compelled to by the government.
Mhm.
And I do think that sort of gives rise to some criticism that is due for our criminal justice agencies, namely the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the United States Attorney's Office, I think, because really from my position, you are all, I mean, even though you didn't testify, you're still originally under subpoena, right? Mm-hmm. That all of the individuals involved are witnesses who should be protected by the system, and something that is integral to the criminal justice system working is ensuring that witnesses are safe and they're not subject to harassment and attack. And do you feel like they sort of abdicated their responsibility to you, or how do you feel about their role in?
I'd like someone to show me someone that has been charged with witness intimidation and what those acts were that they were charged with, because I can guarantee you.
Aiden Carney has been charged with how many acts of witness intimidation? What did she just say? Listen,
it's much less. Charged with
their role sort of abdicated their responsibility to you, or how do you feel about their role in?
I'd like someone to show me someone that has been charged with witness intimidation and what those acts were that they were charged with, because I can guarantee you
what?
It's much less than any of us have been through. It just,
she wants to say, sorry. Sorry.
I don't understand. Here. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, our victim advocates were there when we had questions and whatnot. I know that there's multiple times where people were crossing the line while they're on probation and nothing was done about it.
And can you talk about like some of the other examples? Like I know we were talking a little bit before about, you weren't on vacation, you had your kids. Like,
wait, before we go on, I have to say this, okay? She literally just says, hey, Shelly, she literally just says, show me someone who's been charged with witness intimidation and the acts they were charged with. Seriously? Aiden Carney. They tried to get Karen Reed, but the grand jury said no, right? But Turtle Boy is facing what? How many years now still? 90 some years? And it doesn't matter what he would, let's say he was found guilty, whatever. It doesn't matter that he probably wouldn't get 90 some years. It's the fact that he shouldn't have been charged at all. Trying to silence someone, trying to take away someone's First Amendment rights by calling it witness intimidation, this is absolute bullshit. She goes on these interviews saying whatever the fuck she wants, whatever narrative she wants to sell, but that's First Amendment. That's her free speech. That's her right, right? But everyone else that is doing that to her should be charged because she's a fucking witness. Yummy says that kilo strike for me for the McAlbert is why Jen never went in the house to check on her sister. If that was me, I would have been kicking that fucking door down. Exactly. I think a lot of us would have done that. If you see somebody pass out almost dead or dead on a lawn, any person is going normal. And I hate using the term normal. I've discussed why before, but you know what I mean. For lack of a better word, any normal person, regular person, would worry about the other people in that house. Not to mention, if that were any other house, the cops, the cops would have been in there so fast for the same reason, to make sure the people were in the house were okay, and then finding out they were okay, making sure that the person from the lawn didn't come from inside the house. Hippie chicks watching Sex Cult. I can't afford Sex Cult, so sorry. That's why I go live during this time, because I don't get to watch it. Yeah, I think we'd all be running in, like seriously. Cheryl says, when I heard her say that, I took it as her saying TB is guilty, saying like what he did was worse than other people that have been charged with that. Hold on, let me.
Some of the things that you know
that has been charged with
their role in.
I'd like someone to show me someone that has been charged with witness intimidation and what those acts were that they were charged with, because I can guarantee you it's much less than any of us have been through. It just, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, our victim advocates were there when we had questions.
Okay, so she says, let's break this down. She says, show me someone that's been charged with witness intimidation and the acts they were charged with, and it's less than any of us have been through. So, yeah, you're right then. So basically, she's saying that Aiden being charged with what he's charged with, he's actually done a lot worse. And what, should be charged with more? Is that what she's trying to say? That it isn't close to what they experienced? Are you fucking kidding me? She did word it funny. So I think I have a feeling that you're right, that you guys are right, that she did word that, because I didn't hear that part, and that's why I stopped it when I did. So now I understand why you wanted me to let it finish. So it's almost even worse saying what she's saying. So Aiden facing 90 some years in jail, the amount of witness intimidations, getting a charge for making T-Rex arms in front of a camera he didn't even know what's fucking recording with sound? Are you fucking kidding me right now? So apparently that's not enough, right? 90 some years over some bullshit isn't enough, according to her. Yeah. Basically, Katie says, yeah, like basically he's getting off light. Exactly. That's the kind of way I take it now that I re-listened to the entire thing. She does suck. Yeah. Nanurism, as I call her, whatever the fuck you want to call her, she was there taking pictures and laughing. Why wasn't she charged? Will the Glare was there and part of the T-Rex arms. He wasn't charged either, and not that I think he should be. Hell no, Aiden shouldn't have been charged for that. But they only focus on Aiden because he's the one that got the word out there. He's the one that was spreading all the information that needed to be told to a wider public, getting the information out there and making sure as many people, he could get it to as many people as possible. And they wanted to shut him up. It tells you exactly why they did that when they only charge one person out of all the people that Aiden was charged with. There were other people there, but they only charged Aiden. Yep. Thousands of people showed up supporting Karen Reed. Remember what they said? If she fights it, it's going to be an episode. I mean, look at their own fucking words.
And whatnot. I know that there's multiple times where people were crossing the line while they're on probation and nothing was done about it.
And can you talk about like some of the other examples? Like I know we were talking a little bit before about, you know, you went on vacation, you had your kids, like some of the things that you've experienced.
It's been everywhere. I mean, a lot of people either don't want me in the story anymore because I don't fit, or I just am too familiar with like just a dark-haired short girl. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't recognize me, and if they do, sometimes they'll say stuff, but sometimes their head goes back and forth, and I want to turn around and stare at them, but I'm like, I can't even be bothered. We've been on vacation, the same place we go every year, and Lexi, my daughter, brings all her friends. She's friends with Sergeant Lang's daughter and Kevin Albert's daughter, so they're all down there. And one kid said, like, "Oh, you're from Canton. It's not safe here. You better go back." And the kids were like, "We are down here all the time." Other families from Milton that we grew up with were there too, so they had each other as a group. But they were throwing eggs at one point, because there was a whole egg throwing thing in Canton with people protesting. And so they were like, you know, we don't do that down here. And then they were throwing eggs. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. My husband and I went into, there's 2 restaurants. We went into one, and the owner's son, I think it was, said to my daughter, like, "My dad was taking your mom's picture last night while she was sitting in the restaurant. I just want you to know." And Lexi was like, "What's he going to do with those?" And he was like, "I don't know." And there were 2 women who ended up going online later. They were chatting with me until they realized who I was. And then they started listening to what I was chatting about with my husband. And they put it, because my son went out on a little boat with someone. And I was like, he didn't even tell me he was going on a boat. So then there was a whole thing about, she didn't even know where her son was. I'm like, no, I'm a helicopter mom. I knew where he was. Right. I can see him in the water on Life 360. Like, I knew where he was. We're not in a big town. We're literally in this tiny, tiny little town. But it's been just everywhere.
And you were telling me about how you were in the supermarket one time.
Oh, I was in the supermarket with my husband, which always costs us way more when he goes, because he gets all the extra stuff.
Oh,
so my daughter too. I don't know why I brought either one of you, but thank God they were there that day. And there was a woman with I don't know if she had a free Karen Reed shirt or whatever. And I'd been standing next to her for a good, 3 minutes in the meat aisle. Didn't recognize me, nothing. And so Kurt's down one end getting cold cuts or whatever. And Lexi and I are down by the milk. And some other woman taps her shoulder. Lexi watched it and pointed at me. And the woman with the free Karen Reed shirt now gets her phone out and starts, we beeline it down an aisle because my husband had the cart. And she's now walking behind us, either filming us or FaceTiming with somebody and saying, "There are the murderers," to meet my 14-year-old daughter. "There are the murderers." And I'm like, holy shit, get me to the cart right now. So I get to the cart. I dump my stuff in. I said, "I'm going to the car." And Lexi was like, "Well, I'm staying with Dad." And I was like, okay. And so they stayed, and my husband had words with her at the register, and that was it. And I asked Stop and Shop to pull the footage, and they mysteriously couldn't find it. So, but I don't know if she FaceTimed or if she filmed it. I don't think it.
They mysteriously couldn't find. Every fucking time I pause it, her eyes are fucking closed. Why is she blinking so fucking much? I'm sorry. I just keep noticing it. But anyway, she literally just said, boo-hooed, that they mysteriously couldn't find the footage of somebody recording her in a supermarket. Oh my fucking God. Can you imagine not being able to find the footage from the PD when you're being accused of murder? She has the nerve to whine about a supermarket supposedly missing footage of somebody recording her with her phone. Who the fuck does she think she is? How much footage was missing and mysteriously missing the crucial minutes, but yet she's gonna bitch and moan and boo fucking who over not being able to get a supermarket video. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love you guys all too, Joy. This is an amazing community. She is an actress. Who keeps soda on the side like that? Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. Why did she have all her shit in the chair? There's a fucking table right there. And why do you need a big bottle of water and a can of pop? Right? And that's what I'm saying. She has some fucking nerve to say shit like that about a fucking video over someone videoing her in the supermarket. Like, oh my fucking God. Yeah, she wasn't even there. Why would anyone call her a murderer? I have no clue. Everybody knows she wasn't there. That's what I'm saying, Maylin.
Ever ended up anywhere, but you have a 14-year-old daughter who, never mind, I had nothing to do with whatever their conspiracy is, but my 14-year-old daughter, you're telling her she's a murderer?
Right. Well, and and you think about this, like we were saying, this lack of humanity that what gives somebody the right to do, you know what I mean? Like what would embolden someone to do that in person? And I will say, I give a lot of credit to all of you who have had to endure all this, for nobody reacting in a way that is, I mean, I can't imagine the level of self-restraint that you have to.
Some of them are not playing with a full deck. And so you don't want to.
Yeah. Right. No. Right. Yeah. Well, you think about the kind of people who's going to take out a camera and film a 14-year-old while yelling murder is not exactly,
in Stop and
cream of the crop
on a Sunday morning. So some of them are, I don't do crazy.
But what has, and the fact that these kinds of instances have happened to you.
Crazy? What?
It's not exactly,
in Stop and
cream of the crop
on a Sunday morning. So some of them are, I don't do crazy.
But what has,
you just said, I don't do crazy. What?
And the fact that these kinds of instances have happened to you, over and over. And I would imagine it's maybe a little bit died down since the cases, at least the criminal case is not, no. So
No.
going. Yeah.
The drive-bys, I think, may have slowed down a little
Of your house?
by Jen's house. The drive-bys of my house, my neighbor, if he sees them, like stands in front of them.
And that's what a neighbor should be doing. And speaking of neighbors, what you have discovered in the extraction of the phone is that one of your neighbors was
taking pictures of my house and sending them. I mean, if that's not an invasion of privacy, she can literally look into my house. She's across the street.
Does she know you know?
I am assuming she knows I know. They've left early for their vacation house, but they're saying they have had harassment. I don't know for what. They just said they were being harassed. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. Wasn't by me.
She said that to you?
No, I haven't talked to her. She told the blogger that her husband grew up across the street from a Winter Hill gang member. And so that when she comes out of her house in Canton, she walks with her head down. Now you're affiliating me with Whitey Bulger?
Yeah.
What? And we've always been friendly with this woman.
Yeah.
Her husband is lovely. The last blizzard was snow blowing the driveway because Kurt went to work. Like, I don't know at what point she wanted to insert herself for some reason. And we've always been friendly with them. Like,
so interesting.
I don't understand.
Well, and I think that, I'm really fascinated by sort of like the dynamics of that somebody who, like that, that you've been in the neighborhood long enough, maybe you're not great friends, best friends, but everybody generally, tries to help take care of each other, like you said, in a snowstorm, neighbors, stuff like that. What makes somebody sort of take that? To me, that seems like a hard line to jump across, to say like, okay, this is somebody, who I know, I see your kids growing up and I'm going to,
we would do Super Bowl parties together. We did the block parties together. Like all.
I can't do Cry Fart's voice like Will the Glare can. I don't even think I've tried. But I do have this. Hold on. In case you haven't seen it yet. Bear with me a moment.
But I also have seen how much the speaker, but I also have seen how much the speeches, but I also have seen how much the speaker.
Oh, Cry Fart. He just doesn't know how to quit farting. He doesn't know how to use a fucking mute button. Cry Fart, use your fucking mute button. Or get some Gas X, for heaven's sakes. Yes. Joy, I already had it.
But I also have seen how much the speaker, but I also have seen how much the speeches, but I also have seen how much the.
Okay. Cry Fart. Learn how to use the mute button. Or use Nan's super chat to go to the store and get some fucking Gas X, okay? Okay. And this is what I do when I see shit. I have some new clips. For fuck's sake, yeah. 420 says, I feel like every time Kerry does an interview, she exaggerates more and more. Yeah, it's for the attention. He has no shame. Crybart has a leaky blue nut. Just a little bit. Every mic And even if your mic doesn't have an easy mute button, StreamYard has a very clickable mute button at the ready. It takes less than a second to click the fucking mute button. I know, that was the best 420. I don't think I had ever laughed so hard. The first cry part, I watched it with Will as well. Will's laugh is contagious. I was laughing so hard. I was bawling my eyes out. At least put a pillow under his butt. I agree. All right, here we go. I do
I do know she went to Bentley.
Hold on, shut up, Kerry. I do have some clips that I use for comic relief as well while watching the trial. That if we need a good palate cleanser, listening to this shit spew out of her mouth, we can use those. There's one in particular. If you guys join me during the day, you know I laugh my ass off. We can watch that one or any other one you guys want to recommend. I do. I miss Will's petties too. I'm sure he'll be back. I know he's moving and doing all that. I noticed that a lot of people have posted that they can't wait for him to come back on. Put a plug in it. Joy says, I do have to say one of the funniest things I heard from Will was his body surfing story. I haven't heard that one, so you're going to have to tell me where to find it. It is contagious. I love it. James always cracks me up. You guys always do. It make me laugh. I love it. I love you guys. He's probably going to have a petty stream soon. He went over the new papers earlier. Yeah, I was in there for a few minutes, but I fell asleep. Because I watched Baker a little bit. I watched a little bit of Will, and then I fell asleep. He did post about Lana, though. It looked like he was going to do go over Lana, going over Melanie as well. Oh, Maylin says, Will said tonight that he will be starting petties again. Woohoo! We all can't wait. All right, let's go. Here we go.
And I think she had Bill Reed as a professor. So that could have something to do with it. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. But my husband did something for her a couple of weeks before. I think he did the end of her walkway or something. And she came over, and she grew up in Milton, knows him and his brother. And she came right over and was thanking him up and down, you know. But so I guess it's just me.
Right.
I guess.
But it goes
blows
to
my mind. I have a blue light in the window.
Yep.
And because I had, when John first passed away, I asked everybody if they would put a blue light out because Patrick liked seeing the blue lights because he knew that they were for John. Then when we would drive around, he's like, look at them all, you know. And so I had a blue light, but with the Ring camera, it makes everything green.
Yeah.
So I had to take it down. And so I put a blue light in the window. It's like a first responder's light. There's one that's red. There's one that you dip it upside down, it turns red, dip it upside down, it turns blue for fire or whatever. So I have a blue light in the window. So one of the pictures she must have sent was when the blue light was up, because in those extractions, Karen says something to the effect of, these people are pathetic. She has a blue light in her window.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have
My
to
friend was
find
killed.
it.
That's my way of paying tribute to him. Like, I don't.
Well, not only was your friend killed, but you had to find him.
Yeah.
You know, which is.
And tell his parents.
You were the one to tell them.
I had to tell them. Well, I didn't tell them he was gone. I told them there was an accident.
And you picked them up that morning.
And then I picked him up and we had to drive back roads. You know what it's like to drive back roads in a blizzard from Braintree to Brockton?
Yes.
But I
Not
spun
easy.
out on the highway when I was trying to get to them. That it was, I mean, there was not a soul on the highway. And here's me driving around on the phone with Katie Camerano. And she said, you know, you need to be careful. It's like bad out. And I literally spun out and she was like, all right, get off the exit. Because she was wondering, you know, if he's going to the hospital, if he's bad enough, send him into my hospital because she's in the city.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure I run down there. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go pick up the O'Keefes now. We call them Nana Papa. We call them Peggles. There's all different nicknames. My mother even calls Papa.
Yeah.
Like everybody does. I know they made fun of me about that before.
Hey, Angie, I'll check it.
Everybody, I mean,
Well, I think that, I mean, that's the kind of stuff, it just, a lot of it feels like, it's very grasping at straws. I think when, when you have a witness or you have somebody who maybe has, information or a perspective that's in opposition to, what your theory is as an attorney, there wasn't really the substance of it to attack you, whether it was in court, with her attorneys, or whether it was online through blogs. There wasn't,
If
like you said,
anybody else knows that episode or knows which episode it is, please let me know. Otherwise, I will find it. But yeah, I can only imagine. I love to laugh my ass off at Will. Hi, Melissa. She says, does Kerry ever shut up? She's telling them everything. No, she's a talker. Remember? Kerry's a talker. So no, she doesn't ever shut up. I'll never forget. One of the very first time I watched Will, I was laughing so hard I spit popped right out of my mouth, came out my nose and everything, and I posted that in the chat. And he brought it up and he's like, "Oh, you must be from Michigan because you drink pop." I'm like, "What? What do you mean? That's what we call it." I forget that everywhere else calls it soda or Coke or Coca-Cola. I don't get it. Pop is so much easier to say. Ooh, I have that one. All right. Speaking of, hold on. Let's take a quick break. Oops, where'd it go? Here we go.
Oh, fuck. Shit, I got a cramp. Oh, man, my leg. Hold on. Hold on. This happened some fucking times. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. I got to stretch more. All right, we're good. We got that out of there. What does "for you" even mean? This is what comes up when you search "for you." You get a cat? Oh, my God, for fuck's sake. We're going to lose. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. We're going to have to, we might lose this one. I did not know this would happen. Hashtag "for you." So he's using hashtags for like gay dudes beating off. This is so embarrassing. I went running today. It's like, hey, I got to say, ow, fucking shit. That fucking hurts. Oh, shit. Because, dude, you guys can't. I'm like yelling into this thing. Oh, time out. Hold on. Hold on. Time out. This actually fucking hurts. Everything was fine 2 minutes ago. Did that fix it? Oh, there's like a million cords here now. My life. Oh, great. Awesome. The camera moved. Just what I need. Awesome. And I disappeared again. Fucking great. I was just talking to myself, wasn't I? All right, hold on. This is all fucked up. Hold on. I got to fix this. Oh, hold on. No, that's not my cum face, Kelly. Stop it. All right. What the fuck's going on here? We're a little crazy today. Look bootleg. Hold on. It's feeling better. Oh, we're good. We're good. It's fixed. We're good. All right. Oh, fuck. Shit. I got a cramp. Oh, man, my leg. Hold on.
Oops, sorry.
This is your baby brother, sweetie.
No. All right. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. Hold on. Because while we're taking the laugh break, the one that is never not funny to me is this one. I know I already played it once today, but I'm telling you, I laugh so hard at this all the time. I can't help myself because it's that fucking funny.
What the fuck is this thing? What is this thing? So I'm gonna have sex with this thing tonight, okay? And we're gonna reenact the butt dial. Because again, we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe that they're telling the truth about this. I entered someone into my phone as Higgins, and we're gonna see if we can call them while taking the pounder, and we'll try different positions too.
When he was first confronted, Brian Higgins first tried to claim that it had to have been a butt dial. That term butt dial is used by many of the Commonwealth's witnesses to explain the many calls between them and among them. And I've never seen a case where there have been so many butt dials, to be frank.
So
Mr. Higgins was already walked in. He already testified his phone was on the bedside table. His butt was in the bed, the phone was in the table.
This is a quote.
The two could not have met, Your Honor. There was no possibility of a butt dial. Also, first tried to claim that his phone call to Brian Higgins at 2:22 in the morning was a butt dial.
Okay.
He said that he was awake
I
and
always
watching
love
TV,
funny too.
but he was called back to the grand jury to testify a second time. The second time, Brian Albert changed his testimony. That at 2:22 in the morning, he and his wife were in bed in an intimate situation. He claimed that he had his phone with him in the bed. So now he's claiming that it was during that intimate situation with his wife that he supposedly butt dialed Brian Higgins.
Okay.
He had no explanation, however, for how his phone picked up when Higgins called him back 17 seconds
what
later.
about that?
He had no explanation for the 22-second phone conversation that followed. And it's worth noting that Higgins testified he never heard any intimate noises on the other end of the line either.
Well, in fairness, Brian Albert doesn't seem like the kind of guy that can make a woman come, but that's different. That's a different story. Is there any truth to this? I don't know. So okay. So this is Nicole Albert. All right. And it's like, okay. So we've been drinking all day and, we've been married for 30 whatever years. And you probably have mistresses on the side or whatever. And we're swinging, but you need to fuck me right now, Brian. Fuck me. Fuck me, Brian. Come on, let's go. I want to fuck right now. It's 2:30 in the morning. I don't care how drunk you are. Get your dick up and let's fucking go. Fuck me. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, let me just check my phone over here. Okay.
That is
So then
Raggedy Ann,
Nicole-
Andy. Oh my God, it is Raggedy Ann. I didn't even notice it. That is Raggedy Andy, not Ann. Oh my God.
Cole's gonna come, and I guess the phone here. Okay, so then he's gonna start off missionary. So he's fuck me, yeah. Okay, and then the phone is on Nicole's ass. Yeah, giving it to her. Good. Yeah, give it. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, fucking fugitive unit. Yeah, you like that? You saw me on Boston Confidential, didn't you? You like that, huh? You like that, huh? And then okay, so let's see if I could call Higgins here. Let's see what happens. Right, let's go. Dude, I can't even get to the passcode part. Yeah, you like that? Oh, you're a naughty girl, aren't you? You're a naughty girl. Yeah, you like that, huh? Huh? Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you fucking do. I can't even get to the passcode part. I can't even do it.
Oh my God.
So now we'll do role reverse. And then she's gonna ride me this time. This can't be the first one. So now she's gonna jump on me, and all right, we're gonna go like this. So the phone's on the butt. Yeah, you like that? I'm in the gang unit. Yeah. I got a bald head. I shaved my head. You like that? Oh yeah, Brian. Oh yeah, it's so hot. And I don't know. Okay. Didn't work. Didn't call Higgins. Okay. Now, could Siri do it? So we'll do it like this. All right. Oh, yeah, Brian. Siri, call Higgins.
Her voice.
Didn't work. Actually, it did. That worked. So I entered someone as Higgins in my phone. That actually worked. Maybe Siri did it. I don't know. This is investigative journalism here, right, folks?
That's investigative journalism, folks. It's the funniest shit ever. Yes. You remember my joke. Yeah. I was telling jokes the other day. Yes. What is the difference between a G-spot and a golf ball? A man will actually spend time finding his golf ball. I got plenty more where those came from. Oh, poor Joy can't breathe. Uh-oh. You saw this live. I didn't get to see it live, but I can't stand it enough. Like, it is hysterical. Each and every time I watch it, we have some fucked up senses of humor, and I love it. Me too. Oh, I have a whole list of those kind of jokes. Maybe I'll tell a few more after we watch some more of this bullshit that I hope to get through. Here we go.
That's why they didn't cross-examine you. Her attorneys knew that. They know that still.
They did the second time, something so ludicrous, but whatever.
But that's what they do is the way to try to undermine credibility is to, pick at all these things. And I just find that really interesting that like what they're trying to use is you have a relationship with the family, that you're close. I mean, those are the kinds of things that, quite frankly, a good friend does.
Right.
And a good friend is.
Yep.
And that morning, how have you been able, like, I wonder have you been able to deal, because that's really traumatic.
Mhm.
It's quite frankly, for all of you, for Jen, for Karen, for you. It's whatever happened, whatever before, it's traumatizing to everyone nonetheless. This is somebody that you all cared about.
Yep.
Have you been able to actually really grieve John because of, the chaos that has come?
I don't
instead?
know. I don't know. For the first few months, at least, I cried every night.
Mhm.
Like I would just go by myself and I would just cry.
Mhm.
And then because these kids have been through so much, and the O'Keefe's like, how does it happen 3 times? Mr. O'Keefe pulled up to a baseball game one day and baseball broke out the back window. And didn't he park in that same spot the next morning? And I said, Papa, why are you parking there again? He goes, I'm not going to get hit with the ball twice. I said, Papa, sometimes, I'm like, of all people, like it can happen. Bad things happen. It's just, how does it happen 3 times to the same family? It doesn't make sense. And these kids, like, and he was everything to them. Like he was mother, father, dance mom. Like he was all of the things wrapped in one. And now he's gone. And she, because she was always with Kaylee and, was there doing dinner and laundry and all.
Right.
And
I had an actual relationship, which is I think another, there's so many layers to this that it's impossible to dive into everything. It's, because there are so many, but I think that's one of the more tragic things about this, that, Karen had a real relationship with particularly the kids, because it was COVID. And so, everybody, if you were with somebody in COVID that you weren't normally, everybody grew closer. It was a different time,
they
we
did
were all
family
inside.
vacations. She did pick up drop-offs like we all do.
Right.
She was in there and they lost her too.
Right.
And it's like,
so 2 parents, a surrogate parent,
Mhm.
another,
Another
a responsible adult who's been in your life. And, you wonder, I've heard that there's some really, good, positive things going on in their lives.
Mhm.
And, that makes me really happy for them.
They've always had Mr. and Mrs. as a constant. When they lived in my neighborhood, Mr. and Mrs. they were always there. Papa would pick up, God love him. He would pick up Patrick and my Ryan and take them to Dunkin' Donuts when they were like 4. And I'm like, I don't know how you're doing this, but good luck. And they'd come home
all hopped up on donuts and
he would go to
drinks.
the Donut King. And so he would take them out and anywhere they wanted to go, he'd say, let's go. They'd go to Papagino's, or they'd go here, there. There's one particular place in Quincy. They like to get pizza. We never knew where they were. We didn't have like 360 on them then because they didn't have cell phones. So wherever in the world Papa was bringing them, but this was a constant. So that's when John was there. And then Peg would be over there, making dinner and all the kinds of things. And, it got to a point where John was kind of like, all right, I kind of want to do this by myself. So when he did move to the other house, he did take more of I can do this by myself kind of thing. They still came around and helped.
Sure.
But, and then COVID, he met Karen, and then we met Karen that night. And then we bonded over baseball because that's what we were at a baseball field, 7 nights a week. Yeah. But my husband liked her the night before when they were out at McCarthy. She said to Kurt, like, you don't come out with us as much as you should. Like, And he had stopped kind of going out to bars a lot, but as we all know, but John called him the P word, so he went out to McCarthy's. After he testified, I was like, please tell me you didn't say the word. He's like, they made me. I'm like, oh my God.
They do. It's just like they always make you say like
My
you're like,
mother is
say
watching.
say the real world word. Well, you know, and it is, as you said, it's really difficult. I think sometimes that there are sometimes some families that just go through such a inordinate amount of loss and trauma, and you wonder. You know, I think a lot about Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe, and you know the fact that they lost that one daughter and then a son-in-law, and then you know another son, and in really what all of this to me it seems like must be really difficult to actually deal with the loss because
well, they jumped right into taking care of the kids.
Right. And then jumped into the sort of hysteria that came from the case, you know.
They luckily don't see as much. She's on Facebook, but that's it. But they don't see even a little bit. And he just doesn't want to have anything. I do need to clarify, when I asked my husband if he really said the P word after he testified, it was when the trial was over. I did not disobey my sequestration orders or whatever you want to call it.
Sequestration order.
Those. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah. You know, I think it's really interesting that, you know, one of the first things that I will tell you when I first started covering the case, you know, even for myself, it was an interesting something, you know, the sort of the theory and the issues that were brought up were ones that we hadn't really seen before. I mean, it was right out the gate when we sort of everything started coming to, because I know there's a long time where between the initial arraignment of Karen Reed and then when things started to change, it seems to me it was probably almost a year later that
I think it was
that at least publicly people started to pay attention, because I will tell you, I do recall when she first was charged in district court. And then I remember when they indicted her, and I remember thinking that seems like an odd charge, a second degree murder for a case like this. And I think that, you know, that in conjunction, obviously, with, you know, her adding attorneys to her defense team really changed the whole calculus. And I will tell you, there hasn't been a lawyer that I have spoken to that thought there was a good faith basis to bring the second degree murder, in terms of whether one thing you learn as a prosecutor is just because you can't charge something, or just because you think maybe something might be, you know, you might have a theory, but if you don't think you can get all the way to beyond a reasonable doubt, you really shouldn't charge it in good faith. And I wonder, you know, if there's any.
Did she seriously just admit that? She literally just admitted that there was no reason to charge, no good faith basis to charge for murder.
I really truly believe if she had never been charged with second degree murder, none of this, we wouldn't hear about any of this, because when you're charged with manslaughter, you know, the sentence she might have gotten 6 months or a year if she was found guilty, or you know, suspended sentence or probation. But basically, you know, it's an accident. You either are found guilty or you know, take accountability and you kind of move on. But when the charges were upgraded to homicide, you then sort of force a defendant into a place where they're potentially looking at life in prison. And has there been any sort of, you know, on your end thought about that the DA's office really like dug in on the second degree murder, and that they didn't, even after the first trial, that they didn't back away from that? And do you think it sort of contributed to?
I don't know much about what I've learned is only over the past 4 years, but I mean, the overwhelming amount of evidence it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it points directly to her.
I mean,
I know everybody likes to hear that, but
You're crazy.
One person, not multiple.
Yeah.
And I say this to people like, so your theory is that John got out of the car with a cocktail glass. He went in the house. He got beat up, mauled by a dog, dragged out front, to which he then decided to release the glass by the street.
Oh, because a glass can't be planted just like a shoe. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at her face. Are you so dumb that you don't think someone could just take a glass and smash it on the ground and take his shoe and throw it on the ground? Because, yeah, that can't possibly happen. Are you fucking kidding me? Lori says, I was one of the few people that said if they did drop some of the charges, she probably would have gone to jail. Because the murder to charge helped her. And I agree to that she probably wouldn't have gotten the coverage that she did had they not charged her with homicide. Hi, Monichi, what's up? Joy, you can say whatever you want here. You guys can say whatever you want. Just as long, the only thing I would ever block or hide or whatever is if you blatantly disrespect my chat or me. Other than that, you can say whatever you'd like. Exactly. Glass didn't match the glasses at the bar. Joy says, I'm 58. Why the fuck are 30-year-olds wearing glasses to look smart? I don't know. I honestly cannot answer that question. I used to hate wearing my glasses, so I didn't wear them for the longest time. Unfortunately, as I get older, my eyesight is getting worse and worse. I've always had astigmatism, pretty bad. But now the farsightedness is getting really bad. I don't get wearing glasses that aren't prescription or used for some sort of magnification purposes. I have no clue. Yes, 420 says there is a substantial amount of evidence that says John wasn't hit by a car. Where's the broken bones? Why does he have dog bites on his arm? Exactly. Joy says, at my age, I can't find them half the time, mostly because they are on my head. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've done that kind of shit. I do that shit with my phone and my keys. Where the fuck are my keys? Oh, 5 minutes later, they're in my fucking hand. 420 says, I asked so many people that don't even know about the case what it looks like on John's arm, and everyone says it looks like an animal attack. Yes. Moni G can't find her readers either. We all know I wouldn't be able to find my head if it wasn't attached. We all know that. Yes, exactly. No one wants to wear glasses. Can't see shit in front of my face. I can see close. I can't see far. That's farsighted, right? The farther away things are, the blurry they are now as I get older. 420 says, I hate wearing glasses. I've worn them since I was a kid, but now I feel like I need them all the time. Same here. Nefarious says, 3 of my best girlfriends are nurses in different fields, but all agree dog bites. Yep. Oh, yeah. When I remember that, like David Yannetti giving away his glasses. Yep. Who was that on the stand? When he's like, I have a pair of readers if you need them. He was being so nice. Oh. So the farther away means you're nearsighted. Kind of fucked up. Okay. Well, then that's me. Whichever it is. I just know I used to be able to see far just fine. Now I can't. It's blurry as fuck.
Right.
Oh, okay. Like it doesn't.
No, I mean,
in a
the evidence
fantasy
doesn't
world,
fit.
fine, but the evidence doesn't. There was so much evidence that, I mean, I think they really thought they were going to get murder too.
Interesting. Well, and I think
There
about
was so
the
much
fact that
evidence. Okay.
because
He's
listen,
so
I try to look
fucking
at things from a legal
delusional.
perspective. And like I said, when I first started following the case, I found that there was some fair critique from the defense and their initial filings. And the way I talk about cases is I only cover what's publicly available. So I look at legal filings. I don't, I'm not into speculation and rumor and what's being reported here or there. I wait until something's filed in court and then I look at it. And when I first started looking at the filings by the defense, that really raised this.
So some of the
theory.
filings
So
are
it
not
was
always
Matt
truthful.
Well,
McCabe.
so this is where I'm going with that is that,
You're right.
it was persuasive even to somebody like me a little bit in the beginning because I took, because as an attorney, I took what was put in a lot of the filings in good faith,
Right.
Because that's, what's
supposed
supposed
to
to. So, but I think, for me, I sort of started to look at the case differently when I started to realize that a lot of it what was being put out publicly, seemed to be more fed as opposed to, genuine investigation, right, from an outside source. And what it appears, at least to me, based on what we have seen so far from the extraction online, is that, in fact, much of the narrative and the theory that the defense had for this case and still has for this case was really created by them and then given to Connie and then just regurgitated.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's really important that we see that and recognize that. And I know that it's difficult for a lot of people who have become like really entrenched in one side of the case because it's hard for everybody to acknowledge, maybe they didn't look at things in the correct way. It's hard for
But
people
she
to
could admit
acknowledge.
it at this point, and some of those people.
What? What'd she just say? Let's hear that again.
It's hard for everybody to acknowledge, maybe they didn't look at things in the correct way. It's hard for
But
people
she
to
could admit
acknowledge.
it at this point, and some of those people.
Oh, so she says it could be hard for people to acknowledge that they didn't look at evidence the right way. And immediately Kerry says, well, she could admit it. Oh, so it couldn't possibly be you and everyone else that looked at the evidence the wrong way. It was only Karen. Joy says, kind of like an asteroid and a hemorrhoid. Why is an asteroid in the sky and a hemorrhoid on your butt? That's funny. Oh, I figured you spelled them that way on purpose. Yes. 420, of course they do. They don't even acknowledge it because stupid Brennan, Spanky, says, oh, the FBI is finished their investigation. You don't know that. The FBI doesn't tell you shit. And FBI's, they don't close investigations like that. You have no idea what they could possibly still be doing to this day. Are they talking about themselves and Jen? No. She's talking about Karen Reed. Karen Reed is the only one that possibly could have looked at that evidence wrong, right? Sure, Kerry.
Would be like, nope, they made her say that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that,
they're not getting off the train.
No. Well, and I think there's something too that people will double down even in the face of evidence that's clearly in opposition.
There's people that will never let go. I mean, Chris Albert is no longer on the select board of Canton, but they still go every Friday and stand across the street from his pizza shop. He's not even on the board anymore.
And what do they do?
They hold signs. There's a guy from Narragansett who holds a sign that says, I love Canton. You don't even live here. You don't even live in the state.
Right.
Like, what? Why are you here?
What do you think that, like, I mean, aside from, like the substance of the case, like, what do you think about, I mean, I'm really, like, I have to tell you, I'm fascinated sort of like the how people get sucked up into,
I don't know.
you know, because there are people, I mean, there are a fair amount of people who might believe that she's not guilty, but they're not like acting like
Right.
crazy people.
And there are some people who were on the other side who have come to our side and said, I'm so sorry. I got it wrong. And I contributed to harassing and I never should have. And it's like,
What? Did she seriously just say that too? What? What did she just say?
But they're not like acting like
right.
crazy people.
And there are some people who were on the other side who have come to our side and said, I'm so sorry. I got it wrong. And I contributed to harassing and I never should have. And
Name one. I'd love for her to name one fucking person who thought Karen Reed was innocent and then thought she was guilty and said, oh, Kerry Roberts, I'm so sorry I harassed you. I feel so bad. Bullshit. Joyce says, we should do a prank phone call show. Oh, that would be so much fun. Oh my God. I could have a lot of fun with that. Yeah. Prince Lover says, Joy, Kerry just said if Karen Reed would just admit it. Yeah. Isn't that some bullshit? It's called TBDS. That's for sure. But I cannot, for the life of me, think that anyone who thought Karen Reed was innocent switched sides really and said, oh, Kerry, we are so sorry. Fucking no. Another lie.
like, oh.
Well, are you following any of the I think they're in court today, Connie's ex-girlfriend, Meredith
No.
O'Neill. So she's getting I think it's interesting only because
There's only so much I can follow.
No, I know. You know,
I am done. I know we're going to have to do it again for the civil trial and whatever else comes down the line. But I'm like, listen, my kids, like all through middle school and now all through their high school, this is what it is. Thankfully, my son's at a private school, not in Canton, and my daughter has her core group and they're very protective of one another.
Have a great
But
night, Jane.
this is all they've known for years. And it's like, my kids even at home are like, please turn that off. Like, please, can we not talk about it? When my daughter has her friends over that aren't in her immediate group, she takes the no trespassing sign and puts it face down so that they don't see it, even though they all know.
Yeah.
But like, there's only so much I can keep track of. So I will ask here and there, like, is there anything going on today? I'm not on Twitter.
Yep.
So for all of you who have messages for me on Twitter, I don't read them.
No.
I don't see
well, you know what the funny thing is? It's really, and the reason why I bring that up is because she's sort of on the end of harassment. She's seeking a restraining order against Connie Turtleboy. And she has the mob has turned against her, which I just find to be really fascinating that there are people who, like, I've had people reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what the fuck is she saying? Hold on.
When my daughter has her friends over that aren't in her immediate group, she takes the no trespassing sign and puts it face down so that they don't see it, even though they all know.
Yeah.
But like, there's only so much I can keep track of. So I will ask here and there, like, is there anything going on today? I'm not on Twitter.
Yep.
So for all of you who have messages for me on Twitter, I don't read them.
No.
I don't see
well, you know what the funny thing is? It's really, and the reason why I bring that up is because she's sort of on the end of harassment. She's seeking a restraining order against Connie Turtleboy. And she has the mob has turned against her, which I just find to be really fascinating that there are people who, like, I've had people reach out to me who ended up on the wrong side, so to speak, you know what I mean, of him, but originally were there.
Hold on.
Has her core group and they're very protective of one another. But this is all they've known for years. And it's like, my kids even at home are like, please turn that off. Like, please, can we not talk about it? When my daughter has her friends over that aren't in her immediate group, she takes the no trespassing sign and puts it face down so that they don't see it, even though they all know.
Yeah.
But like, there's only so much I can keep track of. So I will ask here and see.
Hold on. I am.
Well, are you following any of the I think they're in court today, Connie's ex-girlfriend, Meredith O'Neill. So she's
talking about 5150. I missed that part because of where I stopped it. Are you fucking kidding me? That she's saying this shit right now. And I do want to bring this up. 420 says Canton Chronicle is doing more digging around Canton than Turtle Boy, but no one says anything about it. I only just started seeing some of their stuff on the TwitTwat because I just started actually using it. Really, I still don't use it very much. But it's definitely good that someone's doing that, and Turtle Boy has to be careful because he has all these charges. It's ridiculous. They're just waiting for him to do something else to arrest him and shit. It's so ridiculous.
And well, I think it's interesting only because
There's only so much I can
yeah.
tell.
No, I know. You know,
like, I am done. I know we're gonna have to do it again for the civil trial and whatever else comes down the line. But I'm like, listen, my kids, like all through middle school and now all through their high school, this is what it is. Thankfully, my son's at a private school, not in Canton, and my daughter has her core group, and they're very protective of one another. But this is all they've known for years, and it's like, my kids even at home are like, please turn that off. Like, please, can we not talk about when my daughter has her friends over that aren't in her immediate group? She takes the no trespassing sign and puts it face down so that they don't see it, even though they all know.
Yeah.
But like, there's only so much I can keep track of. So I will ask here and there, like, is there anything going on today? I'm not on Twitter.
Yep.
So for all of you who have messages for me on Twitter, I don't read them.
No.
I don't see
well, you know what the funny thing is? It's really, and the reason why I bring that up is because she's sort of on the end of harassment. She's seeking a restraining order against Connie Turtle Boy. And she has the mob has turned against her, which I just find to be really fascinating that there are people who, like, I've had people reach out to me, who ended up on the wrong side, so to switch, you know what I mean, of him, but originally were completely participating in the harassment of all the witnesses, of all everything. And there is something that, you know, you wonder, do you start to understand, okay, now I see this is being done to me.
Right.
Now, do I, you know, can you get to that next step of, oh, I participated in this towards other people, and like, this is wrong.
Right.
Like, this is, I mean, what is happening now? I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I make no qualms about it. And it is disgusting and disturbing what has happened to witnesses. We saw it in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. I don't care what side of the aisle people are on. I really don't.
My God. She literally just brought up Kelsey Fitzsimmons too. Are you fucking kidding me right now? First, I want to say 420 says, I was just saying, like, all they do is complain about Turtle Boy. Why not anybody else that's talking about it? Everybody talks about it. Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier, that Turtle Boy is the only one that was charged, yet many, many people were doing the same stuff he was. The night that he got the charge being at D&E Pizza, not knowing that he was being recorded with sound, with Will the Glare, the T-Rex arms, with Nanurism taking the photos and the laughing. Nanurism, whatever the fuck you want to call that bitch, she didn't get charged. Will the Glare didn't get charged. And trust me when I say I don't want either of them to be charged for that, because no one should have been charged, period. Absolutely ridiculous. Good night, Maylin. Have a good night's sleep. Oh, Charlie Kirk is a whole nother thing, Moni G. You know that. I'm not going there right now. Yep. 420, we know what you meant. We love you. We all love you. I love all you guys. Yes, with Will and Cocker and Daniel. Yeah, this is what she just brought up the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case, talking about witnesses being harassed and shit. Are you fucking kidding me right now? No one harassed anybody. They called shit out like they saw it. Fucking that sister of his on that stand wanted to put her 2 cents in about everything. And the minute she was shut down, because that's not what this trial was about. It was not about her opinion on Kelsey Fitzsimmons. She was so fucking angry when she got off that stand. You want to talk about another arrogant piece of shit. Ugh. Talk to text screws up what I'm saying. I don't know why I use it. Hey, if I could actually remember to use it or get used to using it, one or the other, I would probably use it too. But because we all know me and my stupid fat fingers and my relationship with autocorrect is not that great. So I always have typos. I'm at the point where I don't even care about fixing them. You either figure out what I was trying to say or not. It's cool. Like at this point, I can't. Moni G says, "Oh, I know, but I'm just saying if her kids didn't want to be exposed to this shit, I personally think they could avoid it. If they're curious, they'll see all." Exactly. 100%. And I don't believe for a second that she doesn't look at social media. She's too much of an attention seeker. Not to check out what people are saying about her, or else she wouldn't do shit like this. I've said it probably 4 times already on the show. I'm going to say it again one more time. Maybe at least one more time. Right? She wouldn't keep doing this kind of shit knowing that the majority of people are going to give her shit for it. She's going to get more hate than love from doing this kind of shit. And she knows it. Yet she does it anyway. And then has the nerve to boo-hoo and whine and moan about getting harassed. Boo fucking who? Joy says, "I will say this, having a camera at your business is legal. However, if you have audio, it must say you are being audio recorded. How was that legal for Chrissy Boy? You can't record." I sure would like to know that. Exactly, Moni G. This is what I'm saying. She wouldn't do this shit if she didn't want the fucking attention. If she wanted her kids not to have to read about any more of this or any more than they had to or see, she would first keep them away from it. She wouldn't go out of her way to create more shit to be talked about.
You know what I mean? Like, you think this person's guilty, you think they're innocent. It's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Look at the evidence, form your own opinion. But this sort of the level of harassment of witnesses is something that it really bothers me that no real agency, like the people who are charged with protecting witnesses, have not done anything, And so, I'm looking at different kinds of, you look at the police, you look at the United States Attorney's Office, you look at the Norfolk County DA's office. Why would you ever want to be a witness again?
I will not.
Right.
I
So
won't.
if something ever happens,
So
what
to
are you
see
gonna do? You're
something,
gonna keep
say
your mouth
something
shut?
doesn't apply to me
Right.
anymore.
Right.
I would never. I would tell anybody, and it's an awful thing to say for anyone that does witness a crime. If you're in Norfolk County,
Sarah.
don't do it.
And what it feels to me, Kerry, it feels like they're all
It's
afraid.
all about her.
I think they're,
I
and
agree.
that bothers me that the people who are supposed to be in charge of enforcing,
Yeah.
The sort of norms in law and order, they're afraid to be on the other end of harassment.
But they're already on it.
You know
So
what I mean?
what is it?
What I'm
now?
saying,
They've been
Moni G.
harassed.
Yeah.
Minimally compared to the rest, but we are witnesses for your case.
Mm-hmm.
And when the second trial ended, we were told, nope, case is closed, move on.
By the DA's office.
We were told your victim advocates are no longer going to speak to you. They now do again because I spoke up. Well, a lot of us spoke up, not just me. I spoke up. I was interviewed by someone at like ABC News or something, and I wrote about it. I said about it. I said they've told us
Oh, she did
it's over, move
ABC
on, but
too?
yet we are still being harassed. Like Jen can't go to the grocery store. Jen can't really go
Yeah.
to many
What
places.
is, I mean, obviously we see a lot, and we know that essentially the sort of directive has been, you're not going to be able to ever go anywhere safely. And is that how her life actually looks?
Yeah. There's certain Dunkin' Donuts she can go to, and certain, I mean, a woman at a bank a couple weeks ago, she was at the teller and the woman said, I'm not waiting on her. You can't do
What
that.
bank was that?
It was Eastern Bank in Stoughton.
Eastern Bank in Stoughton.
Not the new one, the old one, I believe.
But that's the kind of stuff that, that's the kind of stuff.
That's what she's concerned
I mean, that
about.
just shouldn't be.
Dunkin'
procedure to be
Donuts.
But
allowed.
Jen's different than me.
Yeah.
Jen is quite the opposite of me. I would have been like, oh, no.
Yeah.
You're waiting on me,
Yeah.
or I'm getting your manager. And Jen was like, no, it's fine. And I said, which bank is it? Because we switched over to Eastern. I'm like, which bank is it? Of course, Peg was like, which bank is it? I'll go in there. I'm like, oh, geez. She went to the Dunkin' Donuts she goes to all the time because she's safe and familiar there. And at the end, there was a new kid working. And he said, justice for John, as she was driving away. And she was like, her dental office, everyone made fun of her tooth, even though she was in the middle of doing an Invisalign thing on her own before they all made fun of her tooth. It's fixed now, by the way, people. She was doing Invisalign. Someone from the doctor's office was putting it out on Twitter that she was in the office. Like, that's a HIPAA violation. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Nothing's done.
Well, that's the thing is that when nobody puts a stop to it, right? So like at the bank, at the Dunkin' Donuts, at the dental office, like, no, that's your responsibility as the owner of, any of those establishments to say, hey, you as my employee.
And just so you know, depending on what who put that she was at an office is not automatically a HIPAA violation. If it was someone who worked there, yes. If it was someone who just happened to be at the same office and took a picture of her being there, it's not a HIPAA violation just to take a picture and tell where someone is. Sorry.
You can think whatever you want outside.
Yep.
But what happens is when those people don't get reprimanded, when those people don't get stopped, that emboldens them. So now I can do it. Correct. I can say whatever I want to her at work.
Apparently you can do whatever you want in Norfolk County and you don't get in trouble because that seems to be what it is. And it's sad because it's like,
oh my
you
God,
did have witnesses on.
Boy, they did. They took it down. They took that stupid, ridiculous fucking interview by Dateline down. Wow. Are you fucking kidding me? The problem is it's out there forever. Do you know how much shit was done on that video? Oh my God. I don't know why they bothered taking it down. It's gone. It is as gone as the Gone Girl. Oh my God. That's so dumb. And that tells you everything. It's real shit, not bullshit. Just kidding. I've been saying that a lot. That has caught on since the other day. It's real shit. She ran away when someone said justice for John. Weren't they all about justice for John? Obviously not.
Stand blatantly lying and nothing was done. You did have jurors who have since the trial ended admitted that they followed the case, but nothing is done. So when the judge asked you, do you know anything or whatever she says, and you all say, no, we didn't talk to anybody, we didn't look at anything, we don't know anything, you lied and there's no repercussions. So have at it. Like if.
Whoa, wait. Since when has a single juror come out and said they followed the case? Are you, what? What about you lying, Kerry? You admitted on the stand that you committed perjury and they're not charging you. Holy fuck, the nerve of this woman. Moni G says, too bad nobody recognizes Kerry because she would fight him. She would demand to speak to a manager and call herself Karen. Oh my God, real shit. That is hysterical. Kudos to whoever coined that term. I know, right? that was, I can't remember. I think it, I'm going to have to look back because I want to give credit to the right person. So I don't remember who did it, who said it, but we were coming up with all kinds of puns for Ian Whippen, like swinging a whip beneath my wings. Oh, I have a whole notebook of puns for Ian Whippen. It's fucking hilarious. I'm working on a little short video of them, so I don't want to give them all away because it was fucking hilarious. And Brill Shit came out in all of that. Yes, 420 says nobody gets in trouble in Norfolk unless you're Turtle Boy.
The judge had said, if I find, like, you watch court TV and you watch other states, and there's judges that will say, like, if I find out you're lying, I will arrest you.
Right.
If that was said, if I find out any of you are lying, you will be brought up on charges. Maybe it would have been different.
Well, and I think, you know, the system, it has to, we always say, so the law is slow to catch up to sort of technology or society, things like that. And I think that we're hopefully sort of on the verge of reevaluating how the online world affects the criminal justice system. Because from my perspective, I mean, I understand that in a case like this, that lasts a really long time, it's very difficult to, you know, sequester witnesses and to say, oh, you have to stay at a hotel for a month and you can't watch this and do that. That's very difficult and burdensome on, you know, anybody who's serving as a juror. However, we all don't, I mean, how can you not know what's going on? I mean, it's, so I think there has to be some sort of evaluation that even the best jurors who are trying to stay away from things, it is difficult because, you know, you have the news, you have online, you have whatever.
It should have been, the second one should have been taken out of the Denham courthouse. It should have been somewhere far away. Because I do have baseball moms and stuff.
I was surprised the DA's office didn't move to
I would have liked to have seen a new judge and a new courtroom because I was sick of that one courtroom. I was so sick of being in that courthouse. But
Joy, stay tuned. It's almost done. That video I'm working on with all the Ian Whippen puns is almost done. It'll be out soon, I promise.
And I voluntarily went to support the O'Keeffes up until a point where Mrs. O'Keefe said, I don't think it's safe for you to go anymore. And Jen had stopped going. So that's why I stopped going. But
and with those, there's a lot of video of sort of in the earlier days when I think this fanfare really kind of started.
Oh yeah, they were close
of being like when they would go into the courthouse and be. I mean,
they were close.
Being food and
they were close. Most of the time I would go up the ramp, and so no one would realize it was me until I got to the top. But the others, Jen and Chris, went right up the middle. I went up right up the middle once, and I mean, they were in your face. I mean, Dedham got a handle on it the second trial, but the first trial, I was like, someone is going to get hurt. Someone's going to get pushed down the stairs. Like someone's actually going to get hurt. This is pandemonium, and they couldn't control it. I mean, they did as best they could, but it was crazy. And
the idea that, you know, the idea of how the O'Keeffes themselves, particularly Mrs. O'Keefe, has been spoken about and treated.
I know.
I mean, it's so
for what, being the mother?
Foreign to me.
For being a mother,
I mean, being called disgusting names.
Yeah.
You know, and other people adopted them because what?
But she doesn't know, thankfully. She doesn't know any of this stuff. There was a woman dancing in front of her house after the acquittal. Now, I'm told that woman has mental health issues anyway, and sort of danced in front of D&E, but to go in front of the O'Keeffe's house and start dancing right after the acquittal is too coincidental.
Nope. I've talked about that a lot. The truth is the truth doesn't need to be constantly explained or rationalized like Bukaki and Jen McCabe do constantly on the stand. They aren't going to be able to pull that shit. Oop. Jeannie Lynn, what's up, honey? She's still talking about that lady dancing. Oh boy. She's just spewing a bunch of shit. It's really bad.
For me, like, even if you have a mentally ill situation, you knew that address and you went there. Yeah. And that's not okay. She hasn't been back. Thank God.
But you think about sometimes I just want to remind people, like, take a step back for a second. Like, this is a man who sacrificed so much of his life to take on,
Well, being a police officer, for
police
starters.
officer, to take on to take on the responsibility of 2 little kids at that time
Yep.
is huge. You have parents who have already lost a daughter, lost a son-in-law.
He moved into the house. He didn't know the town at all. Like,
right. And those are the people that you're going to talk about and harass. Like, for me, it's like, it's really difficult for me to see how people cannot separate that. You can think whatever you want. Well, why don't you leave his family?
Aw.
Well, and Karen was not.
Jeannie Lynn, we all love you. Hope tomorrow's a better day. Yeah, we've been laughing hysterically about things. So definitely go back and enjoy some of the funny things that we went over. And if you want to see something really funny right now, I can play a quick one. Hold on.
but I also have seen how much the but I also have seen how much but I also have seen how much but I also have seen but I also have seen how have seen.
There you go. Enjoy cry farting. What is that? Number 3. No, Jeannie Lynn, you farted again. Look, listen. Here.
But I also have seen how much. But I also have seen how much the speaker. Have seen how much. Have seen how.
Yes, this is again. He farted again. Yes. Joy. Swear to God. Cry Bart. I keep telling him he needs some Gas X and he needs to learn how to use the fucking mute button. Oh my God. Too good. Then I have these, Jeannie Lynn. I've made some things that for my trial watch when I have something funny like Cry Fart. I have the people like Kerry Roberts says stupid shit. I play this one. I've been working on a lot of things for my channel. I got more to come. Oh my God, Moni G says, oh my gosh, I thought her greasy long hair was a fluffy black collar around her bright pink sweater. You won't be able to unsee it. Oh my God. Aw, we love you, Jeannie Lynn. There's a lot to laugh at. I played the butt dials and the cramp Turtle Boy videos. And then I just rant a lot about this bitch.
Behind any of it. She should have stood on those steps and said, look it, they were not a part of this. So I ask you to leave them alone. And she never did.
No.
Even the kids,
No.
the kids even have stuff said about them. And she's never once said,
Don't trust
and
the
it would,
part
I
after 50.
would have even had a little respect for her at that point had she actually said, like,
Yes.
I'm going to keep going with my stupid conspiracy. Believe the family alone. She would have looked like a human.
You're exactly right. And I think
She would have looked like a human. So she's basically calling Karen Reed not a human. So it doesn't matter that she's a woman who has put through ridiculous amount of trauma. We're going to pin it on the girl, remember? Doesn't matter that she couldn't even grieve the loss of her boyfriend because of you fucking people. Then spent years fighting for her fucking life. And she should worry about your fucking feelings when you didn't give two shits about hers. Telling her to shut the fuck up. And now telling her she's not human. That makes you a disgusting piece of trash.
What happened, it seems to me, is that like there was just this hard line drawn in the sand, and there was no kind of middle ground. And for me, no matter what, even if I thought, hey, even if I was accused of this and didn't do this, and my husband's parents think I did, I mean, I would just never allow people to talk about someone I love's family like that.
No.
I just wouldn't allow it. I just wouldn't allow it. So I think that's, when we look at where all this sort of, where it came from, do you place responsibility on any one person or?
Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
Karen herself. 100%.
And why do you lay blame on her?
Well, because a lot of things so one of the blogs that Turtle Boy did about me, she said to him that I had Patrick thrown out of the town pool. Right then and there, I said to Jen, she's behind this, because anyone that lives in Canton that knows that story, and there's three of us, know that it's the Civic. It's in my neighborhood, and we all belong to the town pool. I don't know if it was being built. My kids had never been to the town pool until after John passed. It was a brand new pool, and we took them, Patrick, Michael Camerano, and Ryan, actually, with the three that went to the town pool that one time. But I said to Jen, I am telling you right now, the story was, I had my friend's two kids and my two kids, and there's a guest fee, and I had $10. It was $5 guest fee, and I paid for my friend's two kids. And inside the pool house at this point, they were having a meeting with all of the president and everyone that was on the board, about people skipping out on the guest fee and about repeat people. So I'm getting ready to leave. My friend comes in, and she's got her son and her daughter. And then Papa pulls up with Patrick. So Patrick comes walking in. Now he's no longer a member because he lives on the other side of town.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, I don't have $5. And they didn't do Venmo at the time.
Yep.
And I was like, I go, Ryan, run out to Papa and see if he has $5. So Ryan goes running out, gets $5, comes back in. Pay.
Have a great night, Joy. Thanks for being here, sweetie. Sweet dreams.
I signed him in under me because he had been in with his friend earlier that week, and that's another no, but whatever. And so my friend says, I'll stay with him. And I said, all right, I'm heading home with these four. So I take those four. So later that night, John called, misunderstood the whole thing, and yelled at me. And I was like, you better hang that phone up and call back and pretend that you didn't just do that.
Yeah.
And so we went back and forth. I yelled at him, he yelled at me, because we bantered like brother and sister all the time.
Right.
And then he would call
Well, I mean,
Kurt.
that's reflective of a real relationship.
Oh yeah. But then he would call Kurt and be like, let's go get a beer. And Kurt's like, I can't. You just got into a fight with your stuff. Let me go out with you.
Yeah.
So he must have told her that story, because I didn't speak to him for like a couple months.
Yeah.
He must have told her that story. She repeats it to the blogger. And that's when I was like, I know there's only three people that knew that story. And it was me, John, and the woman that ended up taking Patrick.
Yeah.
So I knew then and there that she's got something behind this. And that's when I was like, this is insane. But I will say this, there was someone who was harassing us before Turtle Boy. And not a lot of people know this. And everyone always forgets about it. He was this guy, Lucif Crumb was his name on YouTube. He would come with, no lie, a stick, a twig, and his cell phone, and he would rap elastics around it. So it was a selfie stick. He would stand in front of 34 Fairview. He'd get like a cab or an Uber, no shoes. He would stand out in front of 34 Fairview and he would videotape it because he hated cops. So
Interesting.
he would go into Boston Police. He would film inside, like Boston Police. They'd kick him out. He'd go back in. He was outside of McCarthy's videotaping in through the window, so people would leave because he was like videotaping. But and yet outside in Chance. So that's really where it started. Now
Interesting.
I don't know that
I've
anybody
never heard that.
And if you look for him on YouTube, I can't find him. I'm sure that every
Was there any kind of like? Did you ever figure out like what
he ended up
prompted
moving?
that?
No, just because it was a cop and they were blaming cop.
Interesting.
No, I don't even think it was. I think it was before Torta Boy, so it wasn't blaming a cop. I think it was because it was a cop, and she.
What was his name? Crumb? Something Crumb. Hold on. I don't
Boston
know
Police.
who this is.
He would film for Fairview, and he would stand, and his cell phone was his name on YouTube. He was this guy, Lucif Crumb was his name on YouTube.
Lucif Crumb? Does anyone know who this is? I have never heard of this person.
He would come with no lie, a stick, a twig, and his cell phone, and he would wrap elastics around it. So it was a selfie stick. He would stand in front of 34 Fairview. He'd get like a cab or an Uber, no shoes. He would stand out in front of 34 Fairview and he would videotape it because he hated cops. So he would go into Boston Police. He would film inside, like Boston Police. They'd kick him out. He'd go back in. He was outside of McCarthy's videotaping in through the window, so people would leave because he was like videotaping. But and yet outside in Chance. So that's really where it started. Now I don't know that anybody.
I've never heard that.
And if you look for him on YouTube, I can't find him. I'm sure that every
was there any kind of like? Did you ever figure out like what
he ended up moving?
that?
No, just because it was a cop and they were blaming cop. No, I don't even think it was. I think it was before Torta Boy, so it wasn't blaming a cop. I think it was because it was a cop and
social
she was
media,
saying she's
right?
innocent. But
she can't find him on YouTube.
And he was coming around Canton, and we would get wicked nervous because we're like, oh my God, he's at McCarthy's again. And we'd have the police go down. The police can't do anything. So he'd say, what am I doing that's wrong? And he'd take the plate numbers of the cops, and he's like, I want your badge number. But he did it a handful of times. And then he ended up moving to Florida, and we never heard or saw him again. Yeah. But he come barefoot. Yep. With his stick. Yeah. But Lucif Crumb, if you ask any of the witnesses, we all remember because he used to stand outside of 34 Fairview. And then we were like, how the hell did he even get here? Like, does he have a car? He doesn't have any shoes on.
God forbid.
So he was the original.
How horrible for him to stand out with a sign. Is this the guy that she ends up complaining that sits in front of D&E Pizza with a sign? Like, oh my God. God forbid.
He was the origin.
Interesting. Yeah, and it is interesting to look back now at how much it does. it does appear that there was quite a bit of involvement from Reed and her team, really, in sort of creating and crafting. I do think it will probably be studied in a law school someday.
No, it already is. There's already classes.
Well, I think it's going to be this. All the classes so far that I have seen are more on like the case itself, sort of the substance of it, and the police. Maybe I think someday it's probably gonna have to be a little bit removed, but on how probably one of the first cases in which a defense team was able to so effectively change public perception and, in my opinion, affect the outcome of the trial.
Absolutely.
I really do think that. And I think it's, we live in a new world now, right? We're not just newspapers and whatever. We have the internet. So there's all kinds of different access.
Well, because the defense could actually prove her innocence, that's a problem. He wasn't hit by a fucking car, you moron.
And, it's sort of this new way that you can present a case. It was really tried by, public instead of
it's crazy.
Instead of in the courthouse,
It's crazy.
And it's something that, I just don't think we're sort of just touching the surface, because obviously not only you, but so many other people in this case have been just subjected to so much. And, I look at some of the witnesses who were kids at the time and what effect it has
for all of us, for every single person. And Brian Albert was eating lunch in a food court, and some woman got on like a megaphone and was calling him murder. Like, even when my kids join new teams, I don't want to say where I'm from. Sometimes I don't. If it's like a club team and we don't carpool, you don't even know where I live. And I met,
because when you bring up Canton, everybody just reflexively kind of says like,
but there are some people who will go, oh, Canton, I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah.
And
thank the Lord.
Right. But there was one guy, I was at a fundraiser at Topgolf, And he introduced himself, and I said, Kerry Roberts, I said, this is my son, Ryan. And they were doing, they were shooting the balls, whatever. And I said, when Topgolf first opened, I said, we live in Canton, but the kids would come down and they didn't care about hitting the target. They just wanted to hit the guy that was collecting the balls. Yeah. They had a blast. He said, oh, you live in Canton. He said, do we want to talk about Karen Reed? And I said, not with me. And he was like, I want to know what you think. And I said, did you watch the trial? He said, I watched both of them. I said, you did? He said, I did. I said, I don't think you did. And he was like, no, I watched both of them. And I said, I'm Kerry Roberts. And he was like, yeah. Oh, I was like, yeah, you didn't really pay attention. Or you, like the others, wanted to pretend I wasn't there, right. Which was fine. And I gave him, I said, well, now you know what I think. So I don't think I need to say it again. Mm-hmm. He was like, well, anyway, so he's like, oh, this place is great.
Do you find that there are some people who, like, once they realize it?
No matter what side they're on, most times people will say, like, I just felt so bad for you. I just feel so bad for you. You lost your friend. And that sort of sugarcoats, like, I'm not going to give you my opinion. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah. But to be fair,
and I'll take that. I'll take that.
Right. I mean, that's all. It's not that, I think it's not that anybody, I would imagine, obviously you guys all have a position on, whether she was guilty or not and what happened. But I wouldn't imagine that you're looking for everybody to agree with, with what you think or this and that. But it's just like, act like a normal person.
Right.
Be a human being.
And most people do. I mean, I don't go near the, do
you find that you've changed like your behavior, where you go, what you do, how you act because of it?
Well, because there's more of, like, even my kids, I'm like, if you're doing anything you're not supposed to be doing, it cannot be on social media. Like, this will be everywhere.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, you can't do stupid stuff. You can't. Even when I ride I commute into my work, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for the summer, because during both trials I wasn't going in. I was just working from home. But I put my hood on, I sit in the corner, and I sort of don't look at anybody, because there's a lot of people on that train. Yeah. And it takes one person to notice me and say something. I would like to think that the people going in for a job are not those people. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Maybe not the ones that can show up at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. If you have time to go to the courthouse,
want to go to court.
For people that you don't even know. And I don't know.
About her.
But, it's sad what's happened to all of us. It's not fair. It's not stopping. But we're used to it, unfortunately. I just, Jen's taking it the worst. And it's funny, Jen's taking it the worst, and they're not even saying she's the one who actually did the crime. Yeah. She's the orchestrator of all. And it's like,
it's funny about, I've thought a lot about that, about why she's sort of the target of most of it. And I'm like, I don't even think in the theory she's accused of actually doing something. So, like, why would she be the target?
Because
part of me thinks it's because she's a woman, and people look at
it. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has everything to do with her lying ass on the stand. She did nothing but lie. Forget her script half the time. She wanted to be argumentative over every fucking question. Okay, Joy, is there email on there? Here, hold on. This is my email, and then I'm putting my email in the chat. And then is Justice Served email in their bio? Yeah, I hope it is, but I highly doubt it.
For whatever reason, I think sometimes women are easier to target, or you can attack your physical appearance, and that's what you see a lot of in stuff like this. It's like the same thing, when I cover the case. I mean, listen, when this comes out, they're probably going to talk about a bunch of shit about me, who I am, the way I look, how I talk, where I grew up. They're going to talk about you. Nobody ever argues the substance.
No.
That's what I realized. Especially this case,
Well,
I'm like,
I'm
you want to talk about
arguing
the
the
substance? You
substance.
want to talk about a
Excuse me?
specific
Pick
point?
people apart,
We can
right.
do that.
Excuse me. I am arguing the substance. So let's correct that record. I have not talked shit about the way you look or dressed or weight or anything. I have strictly addressed what is being said in this bullshit of an interview.
You want to just attack
And you
me,
must be perfect.
you know?
You're attacking me,
Right,
but
right.
you must look gorgeous behind your computer.
Right. You know, and just the level of, I mean, I really thought that, I mean, I really do. I feel like, I mean, everybody knows at this point, it's my position that this was a drunken accident. And, you know, Karen Reed called 2 people in the morning and she called 2 people for help. And she didn't call her friends and she didn't call people around her. She called John's friends. And John's friends.
She also never spoke to us again.
Yeah.
If
Ever.
it was
You
an accident,
didn't. You
if it was an
He never
accident,
spoke to you again because you treated her like shit. You told her to shut the fuck up. I'm going to keep saying it right then and there. You were a shitty person to her. You didn't know what happened. You knew she was worried about him. You obviously didn't care. She was worried. Then she finds him like that. And all you could do was tell her to shut the fuck up.
and she had said, "Oh my God, I did this." I mean, we'd probably be very close friends. And I would say, this was an accident. Accidents happen. You didn't mean to do it. It's awful,
Thanks, Joy.
but accidents happen. And she would still be in the lives of, you know, you're a
Make you
terrible
a terrible
person.
person. Right.
What makes you a terrible person is when you then turn around for, in my opinion, she's responsible and you blame innocent other people.
And what do you think John would think about all that? Like, what do you think about John would think about?
I think he's absolutely disgusted. Absolutely disgusted to go after his mother, to go after me and Jen. I told his mother, I said, if you get there before me, you tell him to run, duck, or hide because I'm coming after him. I could have introduced him to any one of my friends. He would never let me introduce him to people. He always had his little swipe right, swipe left. Well, I had his phone one day and I was swiping all over and he's like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't know. One was pretty. But he was like, great. You swiped the wrong way. I'm like, whatever. But, you know, I really liked her. And I'm really disappointed that I thought she was a great person. And I know she was trying to save herself. I understand that, but you've been acquitted at this point. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Like, you got what you wanted.
Yeah, it can end.
She has left you
It could end
alone.
pretty easily now. You
Let
know,
it go.
Karen hasn't done anything to you bitches. Oh, I would never do that, Joy. Ever, ever, ever. Hold on. I'm gonna email it to myself, to my other email. Oh my God, how cute. Oh my God. That's too adorable. I'm going to share this pic Joy just sent me. Bear with me a moment. One moment, please. What the hell? Why didn't it save? Hold on. Oops. There we go. Oh, my internet decides it wants to be slow all of a sudden. What the fuck? Here we go. Look at this adorable one. How freaking cute is that? I'm showing it to you, silly. Aww. What a cutie patootie. I'm telling you. I don't want to take it down because it's so cute. Aw, she watched the trial with Grandma. Can I post this picture on my community YouTube page? Would you mind, Joy? Because it's too cute. Who plots on aliving you? Uh-oh. That's not good. Nope, this is a sweet grand dog. My real dogs are shady as fuck. Aw. Oh, grand dog. Cool. Thanks, Joy. I'm going to do that because it's so cute. I love it. Anyway, let's get back into this. We have about 12 minutes left.
You don't need to still be on there. We don't need to still be on Twitter. No. At the very least, you could have asked for the family to be left alone, and all of your little followers would have loved it.
Well, listen, I have to tell you that I really appreciate you coming on, because I think this is something that people need to really look deeply inside themselves.
Mhm.
And I know there's lots of people who will see this and won't. They'll just, but it's not for those people. It's for people who.
What about you? Don't you think that you should be one of those people that looks deep inside yourself? Why is it everyone else? It's never you.
Have their own children, have their own spouses, have their own family,
Mhm.
and really need to recognize that you're a human being.
It could be any one
It
of
could
you.
be any person. You didn't ask to be involved in this, and your life has been completely upended for,
Correct.
quite frankly, answering the call and being a good friend.
Yeah.
So,
and I think people need to remember, she didn't have Jen's phone number.
Mm.
So if Jen orchestrated all this, how is she going to blame Karen? And they didn't have each other's phone number.
Right.
So if Jen's orchestrating it, how is Jen then going to get Karen back
Right.
to blame her?
Right.
They didn't have each other's number.
You didn't plan on blaming Karen, you fucking moron.
Right. How was she going to send an Uber?
Well, I mean, it would be the most, listen, it would be the luckiest, the idea that, they all had this plan to frame her. And then she was just lucky enough to be the one called in the morning. And then, don't forget, implanting those thoughts in your head.
Yes.
And persuading
Yes.
you.
Because you can tell I don't have a thought of my own.
Like the persuadable kind of gal to me, Kerry, but
the other thing is, Karen could have left it at, I didn't remember anything from last night.
yes. Right.
Jen didn't have to volunteer the information. No, I saw you at my sister's. That could have just gone away. But if Jen's framing her, why is Jen bringing her back there?
Right.
It logically now it doesn't make sense. And
As we know, Jen was trying to keep Karen from going back to 34 Fairview. I mean, they basically forced her to go back to John's house where she just was and knew he wasn't there. And yet, somehow thought that was a better idea to go there first. So fucking stupid.
Not my right frame of mind after we found him. I'm not self-diagnosing, but I think I was probably in shock for a few days.
I'm sure.
it was nothing I'd ever want to do again. Even CPR, like I don't even think I'll ever try that again, which is terrible because I'm always the person that jumps in and tries to help. My son and I were leaving a hockey game in Connecticut, and I'm literally the person that will always pull over and help a dog, help or whatever. We're leaving a hockey game, and there's a man who just wiped out on his bike, and like one car had stopped, and I couldn't do it. I just kept driving, and I had tears rolling down my face, and my son says to me, "Mom, it's okay. I know what you're thinking." He goes, "But I saw his legs moving, Mom. He was definitely alive." We got home, and he said to my husband, he said, "Mom kind of lost it on the highway. The guy was definitely gone. Thank God Mom didn't pull over." So it's changed me.
Yeah. I'm sure, because not only, I mean, listen, that's something that most of us are never going to experience, right? The finding somebody like that, never mind finding somebody that you love and care about, and, have to deal with that. And then on top of it, having to deal with the attacks that come on you because you were willing to help. I mean, that's the bottom line is
and because
you
I
got
was
to
a
call in the
witness
morning.
that had to tell the truth.
Right.
I don't have an option.
Right.
You go under oath, you tell the truth. Not for all, apparently, but when you go under oath, you tell the truth. I told the truth. So now come after me and my family because you and I know it's bizarro world. I don't understand how this is real life. I hope this is not the new norm. And I hope a lot of these people would just take a step back and
you admitted
she
you
got
lied.
off. She's acquitted.
Yeah.
Just go find another.
Listen, the system works the way they want it to. And I think I think everybody deserves a break from it, quite frankly, and I mean,
people are sick of hearing it. Even the people that were protesting are sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I will tell you, it was interesting. The very last couple of days, the second trial, there were more and more people outside, and they were not your normal free Karen readers. They looked like regular mob, more and more of them, which is a little suspect to me. Also, the day that she was acquitted, she wore a blue suit. We hadn't seen that suit in 4 years.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to me that I was like, hold on.
So what do we think? They're getting like Democratic style bust in?
Well, in my opinion, I think she knew that was the day.
Interesting.
All the other, we never saw that blue suit. She wore a couple of her suits over and over. That one was a standout one, and it was blue. And it was just ironic to me that she was wearing a blue suit on the day she was acquitted.
And how did it feel when you heard her on the courthouse?
What the fuck does the color of her suit mean for anything? Are you fucking shitting me right now? I have never heard this shit before. Talking about the color of her suit that you hadn't seen in 4 years. God forbid she wore something nice that day in case she ended up having to go to jail and wanted to wear something nice for her last day. Are you fucking kidding me right now, you piece of shit? Oh my God. I just can't.
Harder for justice for John than her.
I mean,
it just seems feel like
James.
She's also said I was the only one that tried to save him that day. But then in one of her many documentaries, she says, "Well, I was doing CPR with Jen and Kerry." So which is it? Like, you can't.
No.
You know what? I'm never going to see her again.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's something that sometimes these things happen in our lives, and we can't. Once they happen, right? You can't go back. You can't change what happened to John that day. We can't change what has happened since, but all you can do is try to move forward really in the new worlds that you're living in, which obviously, like you describe in the seeing the person on the highway. I mean, it's affected everyone, not just you. It's your son, your daughter, your friends. I'm sure, you
I've lost friends. I've lost family members. I've lost friends who just don't want to be around the circus.
So, and isn't that so? How does that make you feel? Like that?
Well, you weren't really a friend.
Yeah.
So the trash took itself out.
Sometimes these things have a way of really strengthening the bonds that you do have.
Yeah.
So I hope that's what's happened in that the village that you've created for yourself, and
maybe the people realized what a piece of shit you were and wanted nothing to do with you after this. They didn't want you telling them to shut the fuck up when they had to deal with something so traumatic.
Your kids and your family, that those are the people that because when stuff like this happens, you need the people you can trust around you.
I still have all my high school friends. I still have my great core group of friends. There's one that I've been friends with since I was second grade or so, who ended up moving to Canton. I haven't spoken to her in over a year, or maybe 2. But I think she had her own sort of things going on in her life. I think it just was too much for her, and that's okay.
And did you feel like you lost anyone because they were like on the other side of it?
Oh, I've lost a close family member who was donating. Yes, I'm not going to say who it was, but yeah, she was donating.
I I mean, imagine that.
and like saying who she was. And it was
Wow.
like, what are you doing?
I mean, this has to be pretty painful.
Oh,
Well,
let me get
Her and I
it.
flew under
Joy,
the radar
hold on.
for a lot of
Yeah,
it, right?
right,
And then you
right.
have like people in our family coming out and saying our name, and it's like, what
Mm.
are you doing?
Mm.
You want to donate? Do it anonymously. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah. It is shocking. I will tell you one thing. I mean, I always, you know, I'm sort of on all the platforms. I'm not on Twitter anymore, although I mean, I am. I post, but I just don't really look at it. I kind of every once in a while. But between Twitter and Facebook, I am shocked. At least on Twitter, people generally don't have their real names. On Facebook, I am shocked. I'm like, who are these people putting their real names to these
Yeah.
statements? It's wild
Yeah.
what people will. I'm like, you want to do that publicly? I
Yeah.
mean, fascinating people with a full deck here. If you're
No.
posting that online next to your
Missing a
name
couple
and your
fries
picture,
from that
you
Happy
know?
Meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Well, listen, I really
Who is a few fries short of a Happy Meal? Really? Wow.
appreciate you coming on because I just think this is such a loss of a what really appears by all accounts to be a wonderful human being in John.
Mhm.
And I think the loss is felt, I'm sure, in many different places and by all that. And I wonder if,
Yeah.
you know, as we
He's
wrap
never
up,
going to get justice because of these assholes. And no one talks. They don't talk about the cops that did a shitty job. The ones that weren't in on it just did a fucking shitty job and suck at being law enforcement. And all of that shit should be called out and disposed of. What a cutie. Oh my fucking God. Sarah, this is the shady ass one. Look at the hat and glasses. Oh my God. Too fucking cute. I love it. What is this one's name? That's what I said. I said, love it. Jinx. It is awesome. It's so cute. I love I seriously, I can't I just want to like hug your dog. So cute. All right. I'm going to play the last 2-3 minutes or whatever of this just to make sure we don't miss anything she says. No, 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 not cute. Wait, what? Almost went to jail. She tried to claim she was Jamaican to get hurricane relief. This is schmoopy. Joy. That's too funny. I'm sorry. It's funny. All right, let's catch these last 3 minutes.
if there's anything that you would like people to know about John that, you know, that just doesn't get enough attention about who he was, or
He was just a good guy. He really was. He loved his family. He would be so upset to see. He loved his friends. He loved his family. He had his traditions. He went to opening day every year. So now his best friend takes Patrick every year to opening day. He was just a good family man, and he would do anything for anybody. I mean, to the point like he didn't like
Why didn't you
the baseboard heat in my
you know,
kitchen, so he went and got one. He was
for
doing
him?
plumbing at one point in his life. And
Jack
him,
of all trades.
him and Carter on
What
the ground
he
with a blow
would've
torch.
done
I'm like,
for
excuse me.
you.
He's like, I didn't like the way it looked, so I bought a new one. I'm like, okay, do you know what you're doing? He didn't. His father had to come over and fix it. But that's just how he was. He would do anything. If I wanted my husband to move something for me and he wouldn't do it, I would call John, and John would call Kurt and say, we're going to go move this table. So he literally would do anything for anybody. He was just a good guy.
And a great loss.
He would have been a friend everyone would have wanted to be his friend.
Oh,
Well, I
Joy.
hope that what people can get out of this is to remember that
Her illegal
who he
hair
was
salon.
as a person, and that his life should not be overshadowed by
No,
the chaos of
Nope.
his death, and really to remember that he clearly made an impact on not only, you know, the kids he was raising,
Mhm.
his mom, his dad, but friends like you. So I think that's a reflection of who he was and the friends he chose to have around him and help him sort of create his village. So
Yep.
thank you again for coming on. And I'm really sorry for all that you've had to, not only for losing John and having the trauma to go through that morning, but what you've had to endure. And, you know, hopefully this conversation could be a little step forward in,
Maybe.
you know, making
Opening some
people
of the eyes.
think, you know, twice about what they say and what they do, just because somebody has an opinion they don't
Yeah.
like. So I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
Letting me tell my story.
Yeah.
We've all got stories, but hopefully, I don't know what's going on with all these other trials. I can't even keep track. But the House defendants do have a foundation fund. I don't know. They're raising money for their
Yep.
legal defense.
Yep.
It's defendingthetruth.org. They've gotten a lot of support. It's awesome, but they need money to help, just like Karen needed money for her defense.
That's right.
They need money for their defense.
That's right, because they're being sued now.
They're being sued.
Right.
I don't even know how that works when you don't have any.
They are also suing Karen and Aiden Carney now. Please do not donate to the House defendants. Just my opinion. If you would like to donate and have some extra money, I am in desperate need. I have medical bills coming up and another month of rent coming up. And unfortunate set of circumstances a couple months ago just got me out of control behind. So, just my grift. If you'd like to support the channel, I do have PayPal, which you can send Venmo to PayPal now. I also have Buy Me a Coffee and my Give and Go link. If you can share my Give and Go link anywhere and everywhere, if you have social media or email to people that you know might share it elsewhere as well. I just don't know how to get it out there. It's one of the biggest challenges I have is basically getting it out there and finding people to then share it to others. I just don't have a big social network right now, besides you guys, of course. So for those of you who have sent some donations, it has really, truly been amazing. I am extremely grateful. And I look forward to just hanging out with you guys every single day more than anything. And I truly appreciate you all. The robber emoji. Oh my God, I'm so behind. Chat fam, how fun would it be if we could just laugh? Love Miss Scarlet show. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you guys. I really do. You guys are so sweet. I will end the evening with a quick laugh. Hold on one second while I pull it up. This is another Turtle Boy breakdown of Anna or Anna. Is it in Frozen? Someone recommended this to me the other day, and I think it's another hilarious one. So here we go.
There's two chicks in this movie. There's Anna and there's Elsa. Elsa's the oldest sister and first in line to be queen. Anna is like the redheaded Prince Harry dude. So she'll be nothing except the princess her whole life. Elsa, the oldest sister, is cursed. When she gets mad, she starts touching shit and it turns to like ice. My kids and everybody I talk to, they all love Anna. Anna is the worst character in the history of all Disney movies. I fucking hate that bitch. People don't like Elsa. Elsa's one of the greatest Disney characters of all time.
Two grown men.
Yeah, we're two grown men talking about Frozen. I just can't stand how she's like the freaking hero in this movie. So this chick, she meets this dude, Hans, like a freaking moron. She falls in love with him after about 20 minutes. They get freaking engaged. Why? Oh, because they sing a song together. And then they said sandwiches at the same time. And then they said Jinx, and it was so cute, and they were in love. Oh, for fuck's sake, what is wrong with you, girl? And now they're going to get married. They just fucking met. This guy's a freaking king douchebag. Is this other dude, Kristoff. Kristoff is like a blue-collar, hard-working dude running an ice business, not going so well because it's always freaking winter. Anna knows that Elsa's fucked up, but yet throughout her entire childhood, she wanted to be around her. Do you want to build a snowman? No, bitch, I'm cursed. Don't you get that? That's why I'm in my room. That's all Elsa wants to do is leave her the fuck alone. She wants to play all the time. Elsa, she becomes queen because her parents died, and at the coronation ceremony, everything's going fine. She's able to keep her disability under control. She didn't have to freeze a bitch. Then Anna comes over. It's Elsa's big day, and she has to go and make it all about her. She's over there, and she's like, oh, we just got married. We're going to get married. I'm in love. And Elsa's like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life because I'm a fucking grown-up and I'm Elsa. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, I love her. We just met. We're so in love. Elsa's like, yo, bitch, calm the fuck down. And she gets mad, and then her superpowers come out, and she starts freezing shit. And then they all call her a circus freak. Because Elsa is selfless, she runs off to be alone by herself. Why? Because she loves everyone, and she doesn't want to hurt them, and she realizes she's a freak, and she can hurt people. So Anna recruits Kristoff, who is useful to her now. Like, okay, we'll go in the morning. And she goes, no, we'll go now. It's like, it's fucking nighttime. And guess what happens? On the way, they almost get eaten by wolves, and they have to jump across a fucking cliff. His brand new sled she has no insurance for, and he just finished the payments on, fucking burns. It obliterates somehow. Don't ask me how. Does she offer to pay for it? No. On foot to the mountain. And they get there, and she sees Elsa, and Elsa's like, I told you to get the fuck out of here. Oh, but I love you. And then she fucking freezes her. And now she is a frozen heart, and the rest of the movie becomes about Anna. Oh, am I going to fix my frozen heart? Maybe it shouldn't be fixed. Maybe you should die. At the end, Anna becomes the hero. Oh, bullshit. That's my rant.
So we're going to call Elsa. See what
we're going to call Elsa.
I love it. Oh, had to end the night on a quick giggle after listening to that absolute bullshit come out of Kerry Roberts' mouth. Thank you guys so much. Oh, I got you, Joy. I see. I'm going to have to re-listen to that with that in mind now. Because I didn't think about it that way. But I will definitely do that on my own time. Either way, I've looked at it like him talking about Anna from Frozen. She's just funny. Turtle Boy, as we all know, just has a way to make you laugh. Have to appreciate it for what it is. So, everyone, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for being here and hanging out, listening to me, basically just bitch about a bitch. I love you guys. I hope you have a great Thursday night with the weekend coming up. I hope you have a great weekend. I do have a psych lesson show in the works for Saturday. I do not know what time. obviously I don't want to stream while Turtle Boy is streaming. So keep an eye. I've been working on some new things for my channel. So I can't wait to get it going even more. But I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Yep, Joy, look, if you can't laugh, you just can't laugh. We love you too, Joy. Aw. Thank you so much. Amazing show. You got this. Thank you. You have no idea. This community has given me so much. You got me out of work, going through my days in autopilot. I wake up truly looking forward to every day. I wake up just looking forward to the day now. And it's all because of the people that I've met in this community. You guys give me something to talk about, people to talk to. I get to laugh and cry sometimes with you guys. It's just amazing. So with that being said, you guys have a wonderful night. Sleep well. Have some sweet dreams. And I'm sure I will see you in the chats. Yes, Joy, you got it. Yes, you are on, Joy. If you want to join me, you just let me know when. We will make it a good one. All right, guys. Sweet dreams. Love you. Bye.